Righto. Back. I tried to do something different and it failed miserably. So, yeah, we're not going to try that again. Yeah, that's fucking quick.
That's the end of the session. P36.
It be. Well, yeah. Wait till the timer counts down to 0 and then it says like miss start. Yeah, then you can jump in and wait.
Alright guys, just a note from qualifying there. Cars 397 and 953 both escaped during qualifying, so their times are invalid. They both need to start from the pit lane.
The more I do leagues like this, the more I'm just like, I can't be fucked. It's just the rules and shit. It just, I don't know. It's starting to put me off. Like, 'cause I like the Porsche leagues we do, because the Porsche leagues you just turn up and just race. Like, there's no fucking this, that, or that sort of bullshit. It's just, you just fucking turn up and race. Whereas, like, you do this, and it's like, you gotta remember this rule, you gotta remember that rule, and it's just like, oh, I just want to race. I don't really care. So, unless that's just me getting old. Getting old and grumpy. Yeah. These kids roll their rolls. Yeah. Summit put the Ferrari in 20th, yeah. 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 Maybe the Ferrari was the wrong pick. Acura is up there. I don't know, man. I don't. That's the thing. Like, none of us spend enough time in this car. Like, yeah, the new time model's kind of thrown everything up. Yeah. No, I just gotta figure it out. So. Yeah. 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 Well, I ain't gonna say anything about that.
Alright, about 5 minutes till race start. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the third round of the Gameson 2025 Pro Series. After our 10-minute grading period here, we'll have a 3-hour race at Spa. To be classified as a finisher, you must cross the finish line on the last lap of the race and have completed at least minimum of 75% of the laps. The no escape rule is in effect, so if you need a tow, please hold station until we give you permission. As always, a towed car is not allowed to re-enter the circuit at any time. Reminder that in race penalties issued by the race controller to be served after your pit stop next to the iRacing pace car at the end of the pit lane. With any other penalties that are issued by the sim, please just follow the instructions, iRacing's instructions as usual. Chief Steward for tonight is Brett O'Brien. The stewards will automatically look at any 4X incident. If you have any other incident you want looked at, please just call out your car number at first, wait for race control to respond, and when they ask, specify the lap and corner numbers. Otherwise, please try and stay off the comms. The stewards will remain in Discord channel for 30 minutes after the race if you want to discuss any penalties or non-penalties. I think that covers everything. Hope you all have a good, safe and fair race tonight. Good luck.
When the last car passes the start-finish line, is that correct? Should give us a boost, shouldn't it? Say how the pit lane works. Like if the last car passes pit lane, then the last car start finish, then, or it might be the safety car, like the safety car line. Like I better go check. Confirming it's in. Yaha. You know how before I said when we started, I said if you register, then that means it'll be flip. It'll be a shit start with a better finish. That could come true then, hopefully. Yeah, there is a positive to this. I'm actually a little concerned about when I'm meant to take off from. I'm a little concerned about when to take off from pit lane.
Cool. I'm just on 20 seconds to go. Fire it up. Good luck, everyone. Have fun.
This is pit exit. Yeah, okay.
B36. Okay, Metsumo, it's a strong field. You'll be doing well to be in the top 35. This is a rolling start.
No, maybe they're just gonna wait for us to go out.
The safety car speed is 95 kilometers per hour.
Race control car 952.
Go on, pressure.
Permission to start from pit lane. We can't start the car.
Yeah, okay, so pit line, please.
What do you say? Oh. He just told me to turn the car off, didn't he? Is that Dan? Oh, you got one as well. Now Dan's in front, so I'll follow him.
Okay, get ready.
I start the car yet, motherfucker, or what?
Go, go, go.
Oh, hang on, there's a timer. I got a timer in front of me. Oh dear, what's happened to Dan? He's gone.
Pit exit's clear. 2 litres remaining. There's an incident in La Source. It looks like Nicholas.
Man,
Car ahead is
I didn't think we'd be
car
this far
number
back.
197,
Wow.
And their rating is 5.0.
Copy. Hit fast forward, Mez.
There's an incident in Lecombe. It looks like it's Arnold. Incident in Bruxelles. We think it might be Jeffrey and Hancock.
Oh dear. There's our safety car.
Okay, Metsumo. The next car is Hancock. Car number 467. And their rating is 4.9.
Yeah, line 4-3 request, so not 4-3, sorry. Yeah, hold you.
The gap behind is now 1.0.
Yep. Copy. Oh, I was hoping they'd call it then. Oh, the guy behind spun.
Safety car, safety car, safety car.
Bus stop. We
Safety
think it
car,
might be
safety car,
Done it
safety
on
car.
purpose.
B34.
Surely.
The driver in front of us is Kern. Car number 3.
We're at the back anyway, what do you reckon?
Their rating is 1.6. You're reeling. B33 in. The gap's now 1.2 seconds.
Dan's back out. Is he a lap down? Oh, copy. Was there a chance that somehow he's managed to put wet tyres on or something?
Car right. Clear right. On your left. Still there. Clear left.
Safety car on track. Jamie, you're going to be the leader here. He's just left the pit, so he's on his way down on Rouge. He's just going through the top of the hill now, mate. He'll be doing about 100 when you catch him. Can't pull, so you can set.
Copy.
Heads up, there's a car exiting the pits. Look out for the pit speed limit. Pit lane speed limit is 72 kilometers per hour. Box in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
Ooh, so much wheel spin.
The pit exit is clear. Push now.
Tyres are still cold.
Alright, Metsumo. The next car is Nicholas. Car number 397. And their rating is 2.2. There's an incident in La Source. It looks like it's Andrew.
Copy. Have the car spin over people and everything. That's what we want. That's a word I haven't heard in a while.
Andrew is getting closer. The gap is now 5.0.
Yeah. After this, I'm gonna just throw a lap and a curve around, just see what it's like. Another lap behind safety car. Fuck. Like 10 minutes hasn't even been a lap yet. Fuck, maybe. Yeah.
Watch your speed. Activate limiter.
Fires off, Mez.
Box in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
Alright, we'll go racing again at the end of this lap.
The pit exit looks clear.
Like, I thought you said pit exit closed. Oh.
Incident in La Source. It looks like
fuck, I
Andrew
panicked.
and Banfield.
I just didn't say it. Usually they pop it up at the top of the screen. Lucky, because the train just went past.
Alright. Alright guys, we'll go racing again at the end of this lap and I'll get the safety car to move away in a minute. When I do, Jamie, you'll be in control of the race. Please maintain the safety car speed or 100 kilometres an hour here until I tell you that the safety car is in pit lane. At that point you can consider it the green flag and restart the race if you will. Reminder that there is no overlapping until the last corner and no passing until the start-finish line. Alright, safety car, Richard, move away from the field, please.
The gap behind is now 0.7. The gap to Nicholas in front is now 1.1 seconds.
Alright, safety car, pit lane.
On your right. Hold your line.
Fucked me.
3 wide, you're on the left. Still there.
Oh
Still
man,
there.
who is this fucking Porsche?
Right side. Clear right.
Well done, Metsumo. Great move. Keep it up. There's an incident in Radion. It looks like it's Rohani.
Yeah.
Left side, clear left. Car right, you're on the left,
Should
3
be
wide,
one,
clear right.
Incident in Lacombe. It looks like Kern. There's an incident in Huon. We think it might be John. There's an incident in Befania. We think it might be John.
On your left. Hold your line. Clear left.
The guy in front is Banfield, car number 952, and their rating is 5.3. Incident in Longchamp. Yellow flag. The guy in front is Andrew, car number 25, B license, and their rating is 1.8, B30. You need to slow down a bit if you don't want a penalty. Come on, Metsumo. Keep pushing, we might get him back. The car in front of us is now Nicholas, car number 397, and their rating is 2.2. There's an incident in Huon. It looks like it's Muller. Fastest lap for Christensen, 2:17.40. On your left.
Hold your line. Clear left.
Copy.
The leader has just done a 217.25. New fastest lap for Woods, 216.80. Incident in La Source. It looks like Sebastian. Keep him in your sights, force the mistake. They're pretty slow through La Source.
My inbox is at the moment about setups because again the big teams are all the big.
The leader's just done a 217.12. That's the new fastest lap for Woods, 216.69.
And it's worthwhile noting that one of the things that has happened in years gone by has been the arms race of how little wing that you can get away with. Other spins that we're seeing, a lack of downforce on the rear of the cars as they come through pull-on. That would be quite critical. If you go too far on the wing, you don't have enough weight over the rear end of the car. Remember, you can't adjust your front splitter and the amount of downforce it's generating. This is going to be an overtake position. I was keeping an eye on this one. I think this might just be a lift and let go. If you take too much wing off the rear end, that makes the car nice and pointy. The car will want to rotate, but there's not enough glue underneath the rear tyres. When you get to the high speed, the rear end just comes around on you. That could be one of the things, particularly for the Peasnick Acura, potentially too low on the rear wing. And the other side of that coin is for Hobson. I think that one might have been lifted off because he did hear him crack the front, as soon as he cracked the front of the rear, the car went away. So there is a couple of points in there about what do you do. One of the things, like I said, the chess game historically has been run minimum wing, and it's always been the arms race of minimum wing, particularly when we get to Bathurst. Where are all your overtaking zones? On the big old straights at Bathurst. So if you have too much wing on, you can't ever overtake at Bathurst because you just can never get alongside at the critical opportunities. So the new GT3, and remember, it wasn't just a tyre model, it was an aero model upgrade as well. There was a lot of discussion about medium downforce, mid-corner speed is actually the
track temperature's rising.
Really?
It's now 37 Celsius.
Old heads, in terms of car racing, will want to trim the thing out. That's not necessarily the way to go moving forwards.
Side by side down the Camel Straight. Gunny Christensen leading the race, Byron Phillips is second, David Woods
There's an incident in. Who on? It looks like it's Rohani.
There,
Copy.
with the Vermilion Esports entry 89 making its way through on the inside. So that was for position number 18. Wayne Burke on Dylan O'Shea. 9/5 Sport there in behind. As we go back now to this battle, cracking battle between Madison Down and Josh Pillar.
There's an incident in Blanchimont. We think it might be Irvine.
He can still go with these guys and maybe save a little bit of fuel as a result.
Race control requesting tow. Yeah, hold station go second.
Race cars, can you believe that? Contact coming into the final sector.
There's an incident in. Full stop. It looks like
Irvine
Irvine.
to get back going. Owen is parked. He's limping away from the scene. They'll limp it back to pit lane. They'll keep the screen. But what a moment that was.
B27.
So
Jackson
this is
Rayhana
going on.
simultaneously on the OG gear replay, Scott.
And I just heard a request to tow. So this car's done, and the rear end of it's gone.
Oh, wow.
Safety car, safety car, safety car. Safety car, safety car, safety car.
0.6.
So, mate. Yeah.
So the curb's unsettled him, taking him straight into the path of Down, and chaos ensues, and Down, you can see him basically entwined with the race car. Know where they were heading, bar that gravel trap and that tyre wall. And I'm amazed that Down continued on for another lap.
55 Jackson, okay, please, thanks mate.
Yeah, he's done
Safety
for
car
the day.
boards and flags for the second time tonight. And Rayhana will be done as well. Casualties are plenty, and this race is only 26 minutes old, Scott.
Well, the thing is, what do you do in terms of strategy now? Because you are 26
Correct.
minutes
Alright,
into the race. So you'd be close to half a fuel tank. You'd probably only be a third of a fuel tank out of the way at the moment, because remember, we've already had one safety car.
safety car, just leaving pit lane.
Thinking about
Boxing.
that, you are a third of the tank away. That is a huge chunk of time that you can get done in the pit lane. Madison Down, who get in there, he got as much of that car repaired
Safety car on
as
track.
he can, because that'll be costing a significant amount of time. None of them dive in.
Right side.
So
Clear right. Car left.
It looks like
Clear left.
they're going to go for track
What's your speed limit in the
position,
pits?
play the long game. So some
Engage
of the guys
limiter.
outside the top five
Fuck.
are diving in, but the guys at the front are playing
Box
the long
in.
game
5.
and trying to
4,
ensure that this is a
3,
two stopper for them.
2,
That position
1.
is king.
Box
Look at
now.
the split.
Let's forget about that.
Look at the split. It's nearly half the field. It's nearly a 50-50 split.
If we can get a pit lane shot, just to illustrate to everybody at home exactly how many cars are on pit road at the moment, have a look at that. It's like a car park, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I reckon I can count at least 13, but there's probably more than that.
Exits clear.
Okay, so let's
Push.
count the cars that stayed out. 17, 69, 5, and 79. That was your front four cars. They all stayed out. I believe the next car
Okay,
was actually
Metsumo.
Volvo
The next
Racing
car is
also
Kern.
stayed
Car
out.
number
So
3,
Burton,
24. And their
Wonder
rating
Woman's
is
Racing, 606 Adam
1.6.
Hughes stayed out. Joe Stewart stayed out. 14 stayed out. There's quite a few at the front end of this one stayed out. The first car that came to the pit lane was Sam Blackwood. So he goes
we think
back
it might
to
be
16,
Less confidence
which is
in
actually, it's
like Go
not-
Rouge
he's
to go
only lost a
flat
couple spots
when
here.
I'm
So
really,
there's only a
really
couple
close to
cars
someone.
behind him that actually elected to stay out. Now, I agree with that decision for the cars at the back of the field.
Track temperature is
Yeah.
The
decreasing.
bulk of the
It's
field
now
pits to
35
stay out.
Celsius.
Again, big track position
The gap
gain
to
for those
Kern
guys.
ahead
If
is
none
now
of the field pits,
1.7.
you come in. Because
Okay.
again, you get the opportunity to take a look at what is everyone else doing, and you go, we stay out, we stay in. You get to do the opposite. You create an advantage in that space. Is it going to be massive? No. And if we have a look at the pit stop times for a bunch of these cars, you're going to see it's not a hefty drop in terms of pit stops. It's only going to be an average, a short pit stop for these cars. In fact, you wouldn't even take tyres, and I don't think there's enough time there to grab 4 tyres. There's not enough fuel drained from the tank to take 4 tyres.
Rough week for Jackson Rayhana. Got taken out whilst in contention for the Australian Open World Nationals, the Interclub Challenge between the Gentleman Sim Racing Club
That's
and
Brody and Dylan,
yeah? Of course, on the back of winning the
There's an incident in Lefania. It looks like it's Hughes and Stewart.
In round 3 of the Gtpro Invitational Series at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit as well. Jamie Christensen, Byron Phillips, Damon Woods, Byron Pearce, the top 4 at the moment. Jake Burton moves up into 5th.
I think we made up a couple spots, so that's kind of good.
Consequence of the divide between those that did stop for their first splash and dash and those that did not.
Lap traffic.
You can see as well if there's been any driver changes this early in the piece as well, Scott, noting full well that we're probably not at the point in which those drivers can jump aboard and take it to the checkered flag. The 88 has had a driver swap.
There's an incident in Paul Ferrer. It looks like Ozan and Hamich.
How did he end up in front?
Tobo to be back in a little bit later on in
yep.
the piece. It's hard to know where they're
Oh yeah, that's right, he came around the corner.
Yep. There's the dejected Brenton Hobson. You have to feel for him too. It was such a good run for those guys in qualifying. And you very rarely see Hobbo looking that shattered.
They're 3 laps down
in the car race.
There's a big pile-up in Blanchimont.
And they're 3 laps down as well, Scott. It's a long way.
There's an incident in bus stop. It looks like Baker and Capel.
That's normally his role, putting at the fence. Thank you. So Brenton Hobson's taken on that role. But
incident in
there are a couple of
Lassos.
driver
You
swaps.
think it might be
Andre
Muller?
Heinhardt has jumped behind the wheel of this car. They're going to tear around. They are 3/4 of a lap down on the field at the moment. So they're going to tear around. They've gotten a significant chunk of that car repaired. They'll stay on the lead lap. And they've gotten a ton of repairs out of the way, so they stay relevant to the race.
Absolutely. Safety car is going to take this field around.
There's an incident in bus stop. It looks like it's Andrew,
Maybe.
and Sebastian.
How many?
B23.
How contaminated is it?
Still, ladies and gentlemen, hope you're enjoying what we've brought you so far, and hope you'll stay with us for what's to come. I mean, there's so much to pick apart here.
So that's Dan up into 13th. I thought it was Dylan.
There's an incident in Eau Rouge. It looks like Phillips, Pierce, and Woods. There's a big pile-up in Radion.
He didn't hit the second time.
Within GT racing, within iRacing.
Didn't hit he obviously didn't pit with us then.
So for everybody to see the good and bad.
Incident in.
So
It looks like it's Burton, Hughes, and Stewart.
Seen already a couple of very big shunts, and it was interesting, Scott. I was only thinking about it on the way down.
No, I don't need a wait around.
This morning, I was like,
On your right.
So we're getting green flag racing again at the end of this lap.
Racing and then Spa happens.
So,
There's
do we
Zach
blame this all on you?
No, possibly. There's Zach Ratway-White. I didn't vocalise it until just now, though, so it's not my fault. Zach Ratway-White.
There's an incident in Lecoup. We think it might be Stewart. There's a big mess in Camel.
What's going through his mind at this point, knowing full well that he's got no control of what happens for the next short while until he jumps behind the wheel of the thing.
So I think he's just taking an opportunity to take stock of the situation. So let's sort of talk to everyone.
Okay,
exactly what's going on
Metsumo, you're
in this
reeling.
race right now.
B22
So,
in.
top
The gap
15
is now
cars,
It's been
0.8.
half an hour. We've done
They're slow through
11 laps.
La
first
Source.
car that has taken a pit stop under this safety car. That happened at
true.
the end of lap 10. They all dived in the pit lane here. It is the 16th place Sam Blacklock 862 car. All but dropped there. Jupiter is the team name on board that one. They've
Nor
taken
do I. That's
a
weird.
reasonable dump worth of fuel, and they've filled themselves all the way back up to the brim. Well, guess what? We've had about 20 or so minutes worth of green flag racing, plus some pacing go on as well. Reasonable chunk out of the tank. What does that mean? That car is probably okay to drive all the way through to probably about the hour and 25 minute marker in this race. Probably about 50 to 55 minutes away from now. That's going to get basically to the halfway mark if they get one more
There's an
safety
incident
car.
in Lefania. We think it might be Baker, Stewart, and
Everyone
Kappa.
else will have to pit. If we get a safety car around probably an hour and 5 minutes, everyone will try and fuel safe, get the thing home. That's what we're looking for in terms of those sorts of things. But for everyone else that's ahead of them, well, they've probably only got another half hour worth of fuel on board their cars. We're expecting them to come in anytime from an hour to an hour and 5
The track
minutes.
temperature's decreasing. It's now 33
So
Celsius.
the 20-minute marker there, where the other guys will have lighter fuel, they'll have...
Alright, so if you move away from the field.
All the guys that have pit now, maybe not necessarily throwing
No more
tyres
waiting, yeah.
out there,
Afternoon,
they
maintain
might
30,000
suffer
speed.
because they're going to have to do
There's
an hour
no
and a
good
half
track.
instead of tyres.
To the pit lane.
Could be
Reminder that there's no overlapping until the apex the last corner, no passing until the start finish
The
line.
guys are at the front, they're probably going to have 2 chunky pit stops. That means 2 pit stops where they definitely will take tyres. So the guys
Brady
that have pit right now
Myers.
might only get 1 set of tyres between now and the rest of the race because the pit stops just aren't going to line themselves up nice and clean.
Incident
And
in
maybe
Longchamp.
then,
It looks
if they
like
do some thing
Lockhart,
in terms of
Ozan
if they plan
and
things out, do
Hamish.
things accurately, that will be an opportunity to do so. We get into the safety car in awkward time, they won't get that opportunity.
Front right down to
Bus stop.
58.
Looks like
Thank you, Captain.
Well, very quickly before these cars get back to the start.
Man, the tyre, the drop's so much quicker now.
For old worn rubber or cold tyres.
And the front right tyre pressure dropped to 168 as well. 1.68,
It's a
like
risk,
in the blue
but
box.
I really, it's the back end of the stint. So you're paying with a lot of risk up front for safety later on and pace later on. I would be probably looking, just with what we've seen, I would hit the tyres on. I'd be minimising the amount of time we spend on cold tyres.
Eclipse Sim Sport 1, 2, 3 as we resume. Restart number 2 here, and we're only 35 minutes into the car race, ladies and
Car
gentlemen.
left.
Back to green at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit.
Hold your line.
The Gamesman
Clear left.
Gtpro Invitational Series, round 3 of
Come on,
the
that's the stuff.
2025 campaign. Beautiful restart from Jamie Christensen, Byron Phillips there. On the inside is Damon Woods.
The guy in front
Have
is
a look at
Mayers,
this.
car number
Side by
22,
side of the
B
other
licence,
stages.
and their
Woods
rating
goes
is
through. Here comes Pierce
7.5.
making him run as well, but he tucks back in. And in behind them is Jake Burton for Van der Waal. Adam Hughes is in the fight. So too Joe Stewart. To Eau Rouge we go. Through and up the Camel Straight one more time. Can everybody get his through here cleanly off the restart? Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Car right, clear right.
Another safety car deployment. Down the Camel Straight. Look at Byron Pierce pushing Byron Phillips.
Okay,
along.
Matsumo, the
And
next
this is
car is
point.
1 lap behind.
Pierce is the best placed of those that are not Eclipse Sim Sport at the moment. That's the interesting point for mine, Scotty Rankin, because unfortunately for everybody else in the field,
Use all the track,
Eclipse
force them to
have,
find the gap. He's faster than you, entering La Source.
Defense. 1, 2, and 3. It's going to be very hard to break through that at any point tonight.
Yeah, but you strategize, you think your way forward. You don't just go out there and do it. You're asking questions of that driver at all bits and pieces. And again, how are the tyres bringing themselves? You see them are actually looking for a little bit more tyre temperature. They're not necessarily got the tyres underneath them that they want. The big thing is I can already hear those Mustangs. You can just hear them from a mile away. There's now 2 of them inside the top 6, and they're now back and attached to each other. Keep your eyes on Job Stewart as well. That Corvette is a handful, but it's still quick. It's still inside the top 7.
Nicholas Garriosh is going to get a 10-second time penalty for that earlier incident, 397 on 324. So Garriosh a 10-second penalty, unfortunately for him to serve. And
Woods, car number 5, is leading the race.
2 hours, 23 minutes and 23 seconds to go as they make their way through.
The track temperature's decreasing. It's now 31 Celsius.
The Mustangs, they're in
There's an
fourth,
incident in
chasing
bus
down
stop. It looks like Banfield.
Can you report that, please?
dominating this championship at the moment. And now we ride with Adam Hughes in the Mustang.
The guy ahead is Chapman, car
Go ahead,
number
952.
01, and their rating is 4.3.
left.
V21.
Bus stop, lap 13.
Brilliant charge. No wonder he is the man to beat at the moment, the form man in this championship. What a restart it's been from him.
Yep, and now it'll be, can they go with him? And there's a car round.
Benefield.
Out of the last corner, Daniel Benefield. I just heard him on the radio as well. There was contact as a part of that one. And I thought there was a bent panel front left corner of that car as well. So that's had some assistance there, Zach.
It's the second time he's been in trouble tonight. And the other point as well, boys, have you noticed that the headlights are taking over? The artificial light is taking over. It's very dark there at the moment. The sun has disappeared. The cloud cover reigning supreme at the moment. Here is the incident that Daniel Benefield was radioing in about.
So he's okay
On the
there.
inside, behind him.
And then,
Bang.
yeah, laid in for the Frog Leap Juice Racing 197. And,
Hamish Cleland.
yeah, behind the wheel.
Look at this train of cars at the moment. 20 degrees the ambient, so that's dropped. 30 degrees the on-track, cloudy conditions. Northerly winds to the tune of 18 kilometres an hour at the moment, 2:50 in the afternoon. Server time, of course, it's 9:15 on the east coast and of course 8:45 in central parts of Australia, 7:15 on the west coast.
All right, Metsumo, hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes.
Loud in every sense of the word. Friday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Australian Sim Racing Group and Sim Speed as well. We've got another incident under investigation, that is Wayne Burke and Josh Perwin and Andre Heimgartner and Daniel Benefield, and also there's a couple of others there too. Of course, the 197 Hamish Cohen will have an asterisk next to his name, no doubt, very shortly. So he's involved in the incident with Daniel Benefield as they make their way around. 2 hours 21 to go.
New fastest lap for Woods, 2:16.65.
Exactly where they left off in the Land of the Rising Sun at the Fuji International Speedway 7 weeks ago. Don't forget, these guys, next round of the championship is the home of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the Circuit de la Sarthe, and we'll bring it to you late August. More details on that one a little bit later on. Damon Woods, Jamie Christensen, Byron Phillips. Damon Woods improves on his previously set fastest lap of the motor race, 2:16.646. And here on the inside, Sam Blacklock under pressure on the outside. Matt Arnold, Hamish Quillen. And Matt Arnold is trying to get the job done. No, Blacklock's going to power around the outside and keep him at bay. And here comes the 222 as well. And behind that, we ride on board with Wayne Burke in 16th place. So Matt Arnold just ahead. Have a look at sparks off Arnold's machine.
There's an incident in Lacoon. Looks like it's Chapman.
3 times through off the restart through Rouge and Radion. And we've got through cleanly so far.
The front group up to 11th spot are all sticking together at the moment. I've just seen Matt Arnold look to try and fuel save a whole bunch.
Burke to the inside, Scotty. Burke to the inside. Gets by on Matt Arnold. So up into 15th now.
Yeah, Matt Arnold's on a fuel saver. He actually lifted out and let Burke have that one. So there's no fighting in that one. So he's trying to play this, you know.
Okay, Metsumo. The next car is Mayers. Car number 22, B license, and their rating is 7.5.
Under that safety car period. So he's sort of in amongst all the cars that came in. So ahead of those cars, Sam Blacklock, Wayne Burke have now gone through. So they're up to effectively 14th and 15th in those cars. They've gained 1 spot, 2 spots.
The track temperature's falling. It's now 28 Celsius.
Just
down the back straights. This was the 101 up on the outside. I'm loving the fact that I'm getting it.
That's the new fastest lap for Woods, 2:16.22.
On the timing screen here, the 101 off the road on the exit of the Camel straight.
The next car is Shea, car number 991, and their rating is 6.4. E19.
Andre Heimgartner, remember? Yeah, that 228 car, remember? Got into them, so that's being reviewed. Drive-through penalty, I think, for the 197. One car died, so that's the 197 that's actually died into the lane, so their penalty straight away. So that's why they've dived in out of sequence.
What the fuck happened there?
Incident in Eau Rouge. We think it might be Mayers.
I don't know, fuck. Checked me up too.
Top 5. If we have a look at that from the manufacturer standpoint, you'll still see that we've got at least 3, possibly even 4 manufacturers in the top 10 at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, there we go. In fact, make it 5. So you got the McLaren in there. You got the actually no Acura's in the top 10 at this point. So it is 4. McLaren. Oh, trouble. Brady Myers coming down to Eau Rouge. Now, how has that happened? More to the point, McLaren 1, 2, 3, then Ford. You've got a Chev in there, and also Lachlan Capel in the Audi. They're going all right at the moment, but again, we've got 2 different varying strategies at play here. First of the Acuras in 12th right now, and the first of the Ferraris in 17th. This is a strange one. Let's have a look at it, Scott.
Yeah, so under a little source, he's going to be off the line. I'm wondering whether or not there might have been a hardware failure bottled up in this one somewhere. So there's been an issue. So that's Dylan O'Shea that's in behind him at the moment. O'Shea's got a fair bit of damage to the left rear corner of that car at the moment. He's just trying to circulate, just get that thing going. Yeah, that's a hardware failure. I reckon he's lost screens.
Oh boy. Mechanical issues in the city world. We talk about it all the time.
Just ignore him, he'll go away. He's faster than you into Lake Coombe. The driver behind's a bit sketchy. Watch your mirrors here.
Has massive implications. It's a long road back for those guys. I mean, one safety car.
Yeah.
Fastest lap for Woods, 216.17.
Got all that track position to try and
Left side.
capture.
Clear left. Left side. Clear left. Car left.
If there's one spot on this track where you don't want it to
Still
happen,
there.
it's going through Old Rouge Radio, right? And,
Still there.
He's at least managed to be able to go. I think there's
Hold
a
your
gap
line.
chance to the left-hand side here and not impact someone. That's
Still
the
there.
biggest benefit.
Clear left.
Okay, Metsumo, there'll be chances here. Let's make sure we can take them. 18th.
Territory that we saw in qualifying, but we're edging ever so close and on full or near enough to full tanks, at least a quarter, maybe a third empty now. That is a scintillating lap time. The pace overall has been so impressive.
Left side.
Vandell at the moment.
Still there.
For 18th. He's got Luke Swan. Just
Hold your
behind him.
line.
He's got Josh Andrew just behind him.
Clear
We're
left.
riding on board with Andrew now in the Ferrari as they make their way down towards
Okay, stay with him.
and again, just recapping, folks, we're 45 minutes into this race, so we're about a quarter of the way through proceedings. We're on lap 17. Damon Woods, the race leader, down the Camel
Right
straight.
side. Clear right.
Move on the inside. No, blocked off, covered off. Luke Swan.
Pull that in,
was
Mez,
there
please.
Trying to get by Sebastian Vandell, I think you'll find, and he wasn't able to do it.
Right side, clear right.
On board with the 25 in behind them.
Copy.
And it's a log jam at the moment. You've got a Merc in there as well. Down
Fuck
the
me,
inside,
cunt.
the Ferrari trouble and
Car in
goal.
Sorry.
front is Banfield, car number 952, and their rating is 5.3.
More work for race control.
Yeah, unfortunately for him.
Go ahead,
That's what we
953.
can do at the moment, though. Get back out there, give the stewards another thing to go out and worry about.
17.
They're going to be doing
And,
some overtime tonight.
Yeah, there's been so much paint traded, but I think the thing is, guys are just wanting to get on with their lives. They want to get on with their races.
The next
and,
car is
work on
3
it.
laps
Keep an eye on
behind.
this lead battle pack too. Originally,
Like, had I
battle
done
pack
anything
started
wrong
out
there?
just after the safety car and a couple laps in, it was 11 cars in that one. It's starting to split up now. It's the top 7 that are still connected, top 8 that are all still connected back up to each other, and that's
There's an
starting to break up a little
incident
bit more.
in Blanchimont.
9 to 10 to
We
drop
think it
off
might
back a
be
little bit, which
Andrew.
is the Evolution Racing team.
The guy in front is
Audi,
Shay, car number
number
951, and their rating is
Triple
6.4.
Nine of TriStar Racing. I've managed to stay together.
Hit.
Lockhart Brownlee has
Yeah.
dropped off the back of these guys.
Oh,
A little bit drop there.
fuck.
Remember, we've got to keep an eye on that
Should've
car.
hit it.
They're up to 13th because they're the leaders.
At this
the
rate,
guys
you
that
might-
have stopped.
At this rate, mate, you
The
might not
big
have cracked.
factor here is how much time were they static in their pit stop
P26.
for, and this is where we'll sort of have to have a look at what the differences in pits times were, because if that's a 20-second stop, effectively right now
Well,
they're going to be
nah, because fuel.
8 seconds in the lead.
But
at the moment.
I just meant
But
at
we'll
this
see
rate,
that
you won't get a
soon
crack
because
because
their lap times are not great
keeps
right
safety
now
cars.
because they're carrying a hefty load of fuel. That will swing. Remember, we've got that 20-minute overcut that they're going to have at the back end of this stint, so they will be quick during that phase and close the margin down then as
Nah,
well.
I'm having fun, Mez.
That's a vast discrepancy in pit stop times, not least. Here we go. No further action on the internet between 77 and 228 as well.
The gap behind is now
Note of
0.8.
That discrepancy, Scott, that we've got going on, not just with regards to those that have stopped, but also those that haven't stopped. Would you argue that those that have stopped have now committed to a 3-stopper?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
25 request tag.
Less than 2 green flag stops from here. So,
Okay,
air quotes,
okay.
3-stopper, 2 green flag stops, but I would say the entire field's on 2 green flag stops at the moment. So,
Yeah, correct.
realistically, it just means that their 2 stops are going to be shorter. So, yeah, that's what we're sort of keeping an eye on.
Safety car, safety car, safety car. Safety car, safety car, safety car.
Hang on, 10-second time penalty for car.
How far back are we, Mez? Do we do it again?
So that's the Vermilion Esports entry, Sebastian Vandell.
Oh,
Vandell's got
no.
the 10-second
Yeah,
time
that's cool.
penalty.
The other Summer Sim Sports car, I think, is in the fence. So I think
Oh,
neither of those cars are going to
wow.
finish the race.
That is the second. So that's the 25 of Joshua
Yep.
Andrew. Can you believe the night that Summit
The leader,
Sports
Woods, is
You see
pitting.
the field dive in now. Well,
Absolutely you will.
here's the
That
thing.
will be your third
Safety
safety
car on
car.
track.
Will be your third safety car in only 50 minutes of racing, Scott. Do they dive in now, or do they wait
Yeah,
for the call?
100%
Yes,
driving.
there they
It's
are.
already
Yeah.
been called.
In they
Yeah.
go.
Copy.
Yeah, so the problem is the car's already been called, so it's waiting down in pit lane to grab anyone that comes through. You know what? That orbit drop there car's anyone
Sam, the
that
862, you're going to be the leader here. Safety car's on its way
through.
to
Tyres and
waiting.
everything,
and
Mez,
they
too,
would
please.
potentially
Or
become
whatever
the
you
race
need.
leaders, and there was a lot of.
I don't think we're
they
going to
were
need
that far
tyres,
for race
but
lead.
On your
I
left,
reckon
clear left.
they're now in a prime
Watch your
position.
speed.
I think this is flipped and flopped.
There's an
I reckon
incident
there
in.
should have been
We'll
a lot
stop.
more
It
cars
looks like
hitting
Kern.
that last safety car number 2.
Box in 5, 4, 3.
Wow. We've had
2,
one safety
1.
car in 6 hours
Box
of
now.
racing, and we've had 3 in 49 minutes here at Spa. So the stakes have been raised. You can tell that there are a lot of drivers out
Man,
there,
like
ladies
89.
and gentlemen, trying their heart out, leaving
Yeah,
nothing
heaps.
on the table. Some unfortunate incidents, absolutely. Some driver error, sure. Some technical
It
problems,
exit's clear. Stay
absolutely
behind the
as
white
well.
line.
It's extraordinary the change in the narrative round to
Alright,
round.
Metsumo. The next car is Ducci. Car number 222.
But
Incident in La Source. Looks like it's
It works out
Johnson.
alright, mate. It might just work out in the end that,
where we go for the grand
like,
finale,
your
now
stint's not the
Ferrari
middle stint, but the
well,
last one.
that's unlucky.
Little slide, micro catch, and it just bites.
And the rear left again, parts company with the motor car. Exactly the same as what happened to Jackson Rayhana.
I've been commentating some Thailand GT3 stuff.
You're
already
reeling
this weekend,
Ducci in. The
and
gap
there's been
is
some
1.4.
major accidents over in Thailand. I think it was just one of those weeks. I tell you what.
They
for
still
the
give him
fans
a
that haven't
penalty,
seen it
even though he's
watching
out of the
at
race?
home, there was a McLaren at Blanchimont without power in the Spa 24-hour last weekend. It was just crawling its way back to pit lane. It just got driven.
Hey, Mez, I just realised I've
absolutely
actually got the wing on 6.
It's realistically the Kemmel Straight's the fastest point on the racetrack.
Yeah, I don't know what I've done, but it's definitely
coming through a corner at
the
280 clicks.
2.1 set.
A car that's doing
I must have
50
fucking
to
hit it.
60. You got
Nah, I
no
think it was
reaction time.
7.
It was one
I
of
think the
biggest
set was 7.
incidents, and the fact that everyone walked away from it relatively unscathed.
There's an incident in.
It's still fine, you just need to
Fanya.
lift a
Looks
little
like
bit
it's
in the,
Demon.
Those cars as we've gone forward.
I thought it was 6. I've been running 6.
Scott Rankin, of
Oh,
course,
doesn't matter.
commentating
Maybe.
real world
Yeah, you just give
GT
it-
Cool.
racing as well as sim racing this weekend. Yours truly commentating real world karting as well as sim racing this weekend. Double duty for the pair of us. It's a busy time of the year. There's no
Oh,
doubt
really?
about that. Pit lane also very busy at the moment. Like Urquhart, first time I've had a chance to mention. this.
So they've just heard me responding, basically.
Andre
No,
Heimgartner,
they-
they're both on
I
pit
don't have
lane.
to display
Heimgartner, of course, just continuing to
Ah,
steer
copy.
the car as
That's
best
just-
you can under safety car.
They can hear me talking to
After
you,
the
but they
incident
can't
for Madison
hear
down
you.
earlier.
There's an
Yeah,
incident
man.
in. Cool Ferrari. It looks like Demon.
Also on pit lane.
Yeah.
That looks like nearly a picture-perfect McLaren again. I reckon they've got that car back to new, brand spanking new. Keep an eye on them
Incident
coming
in
away from
Blanchimont. We think it might be Demon and Jeffrey.
So where are we?
Go around one more
26.
time, or will we go back to green this time, folks? Let's wait and see for that. Can you believe we're almost at the end of lap 20 this time through? And that changing of the narrative, as evidenced by who pitted where and when. Track position is king at the moment.
There's an
So
incident
this is
in
now
Buster.
track
25
I think it
is
might
inside.
be Sam.
track position race.
There's a
And
big
it's
pile up
gonna
in
be
Blanchimont.
interesting to, follow the
Is that
course
him?
of
Was
the
that?
evening and
Yeah,
how it
that's
all
me.
plays out,
You
Scott, to
bastard.
see
Not served due to
if you
crash.
zigged and zagged, which one was the better option? Was the gamble to go early the one that pays off? Because it's all right.
Not
to
even
do
a
the same
sorry.
strategy now, because essentially
Ah,
if
yeah,
it's
good
the
as close.
first time through, we're probably looking at a three-stop
People
race.
saying sorry.
Potentially, we could
That's not
yet
happening.
still get it done on 2, but the problem we've got is
There's a car leaving the pits.
cars we're going to see, and B, you know, just because you're on the same strategy,
gap in front is now
the problem
1.1.
we've got is where you are in the field and how much of an invoice.
22nd place. There's an incident in La Source. It looks like it's
So it's all
Ozan.
right to be the OPR entry saves Stuart Ellis down there. in
The track
13th,
temp's increasing.
right?
It's now
But
31
compare
Celsius.
that to,
Incident in
say,
Eau
one of the
Rouge.
guys
It looks like
earlier on,
Wakefield,
Gavin Wood,
Jeffrey
who's actually
and
Gavin Wood's
Brooke.
impressive. He's back out in 6th spot. But
Yeah, well, that
There's an incident
Mercedes
in
got some
Ragnon. We think it might be Burke.
toe in the straight line. I thought the Fez was good in a straight line for some reason.
as we have a look at the incident.
Well,
The
remember
gap's
there was
Johnson
those couple.
behind is
Yeah,
now
exactly.
0.6.
They didn't specifically say what they
There's an
were.
Yeah,
incident
green
in
side racing,
Ragnon.
yeah,
Looks
yeah,
like
yeah.
That happened
Jeffrey
recently.
and Brooke.
more for those guys. 2 written off cars for Summit Sim Sport tonight. A shocking night at the office for those gentlemen. They'll regroup, they'll bounce back, but they'll have to wait until Le Mans at the end of August to do so. But yes, talk me through this, Scott. Sam Blacklock, one strategy, and then Damon Woods another. 5 cars between them on the race.
There's an incident in Leku. It looks like it's Brooke and Mayers.
Balance out in the long form, and how does it apply to the guys that are spread throughout the field?
Have a look at the ordering of the cars that have actually pit a second under this most recent safety car. So there you got your top 5 here. These guys all pit under the previous safety car, so they definitely have a fuel deficit here. But interesting to note is actually have a look at Damon Woods has got the lead of the cars that have just pit. Job Stewart's second in this queue, so he's been actively, aggressively fuel saving this whole time. And then Zach Rattray White is P3 in that queue. So they've been shaken up. And I just reckon, I'm just looking at Damon Woods' pit stop was 6 seconds shorter than Zach Rattray White's. Stewart's was 4 seconds shorter. There's cars in this order that have underfilled. There's a bunch of cars on different fuel strategies. I don't think we've got the bulk of the field on the same strategy now. I reckon, basically, you've got to... The tricky part here, and I'm not going to be able to sort of explain this one out to you guys quickly and efficiently. I'm sort of just going to have to go, I reckon this car's here, I reckon this car's here, because we're going to be guessing at that for the remainder of the race.
Absolutely.
I think a full tank of fuel about a 50
Sam, once the safety car falls away, please maintain the safety car speed. Reminder that there's no overlapping into the apex of the last one and no passing to the start finish line. I'll let you know when the safety car is in pit lane. Safety car, no away from the field, please.
So there's 2 cars there that have done that. And I think that was the critical message that we just received, was driver changes. Now, driver changes are about a 25-second change, I believe, in terms of the pit stops. It's somewhere 20 to 25 seconds. Anyone who swapped a driver there had to sit and wait for the driver to go in the car. Not fuel, not tyres. That's the critical factor that I was missing. So anyone who's lost ground here has done a driver swap.
Safety car pulling away from the field. We're going to go back to green again. Trying to make sense of it on this hop, skip and jump here, folks. I'm glad that Scotty Rankin's across the analytical side of it, more so than yours truly, quite frankly, at this point in time.
Incident in Longchamp. We think it might be Lachlan. There's an incident in bus stop. It looks like it's Hall.
Fueling is going to mean we are going to go into the pit lane the 3rd time, or whether these guys can still get it done on 2. There's so much to play out here. The guys that are employed, engaged to do the strategy for these teams tonight, earning their keep and then some. A magnificent flyover shot overlooking that run from the main straight back to the bus stop to get stanza 4 of this race underway. We're at 2 hours and 3 minutes to go.
Okay, Metsumo, you're reeling Dutchy in. The gap is 0.17.
Car left.
4th start
Hold your line.
of the night. 3rd safety
Clear
car
left.
done. Chapter 4, let's go. Run down towards
Rabbit,
turn 1.
nice one.
Weinberg down there on the outside. The orbit drop there entry. Sam Blacklock wants to defend on the
Car in
inside.
front of us is Chapman, car number 101, and their rating is 4.3.
These things on the bitumen, on the real estate. It was highlighted at the start of this race just how important a component of the night that would be. And so far, Zach Rattray White and co have done a good job of that. Up through Eau Rouge and ready on. Once more we go. 21 laps done. Let's go down the back straight.
Yeah, so critical phase number 1, get through Eau Rouge, get through Radion. Critical phase number 2 is Pouon. Once you get out the other side of there, you should be relatively okay. They're still going at it. Look at them still chasing tyre temperatures. I cannot tell you, Zach, that's not been a thing. That has not been something we've seen in the history of GT3 racing. They're all like, normally, you might see it once, you might see it twice, that'll be it. But they're weaving aggressively. That's how risky and on edge these cars are on cold tyres.
Trouble for Brady Myers. He's dropped down. He's lost out to Job Stewart and also Damon Woods up in a 5th spot now. And have a look at him side by side to the left-hander. And on the way up to Pouon they go. There was a bit of argy-bargy
On your
there,
right.
yes.
Clear right.
It was the guys that got hung out to dry in the 22 around the outside. The Mustang now. It's turned to be hung out to dry.
This is Benjamin Brook in the 297 Frog Leap Juice racing car. Yeah. So he's one of the guys that stayed out because he pit under the last safety car. So remember, there was 5 cars. Myers was the one at the tail end of the field after he dropped all that time. Remember, pulling off to the side of the racetrack. And the 297
copy.
is the other one that was sort of stuck around trying to grab some track position. So they've gained track position, but right now they're in the thick and amongst it. And they're about to just get boxed and beaten a bit because, well, they've got a race of their own going on. And I don't hate this decision from them. But where do you put the car, and how far do you feel free falling? Because you want to keep as far up the field as you possibly can, because you've got a fuel deficit.
No, we need to stay out now, I think.
It's a game of cat and mouse tonight. No doubt about that. Bad sportsmanship flag for weaving up the safety car pulled away.
P19.
12. So race control cracking down on all sorts of things tonight, right now, as well. Jay Kennedy raising a very good point. I don't know who the 12 is. Oh no, the Orbit drop bear entry. Looking very much worse for wear. That is heading to pit lane. That is our mate Dan Yeaman, recently with the GSRC Indy 500K. Yeaman on pit road. We'll find out how that happened more to the point. As he pulls in, he's now plummeting outside the top 30. And interesting to note that we've still got 34 cars in the motor race. Oh no, it was not just Yeaman. It wasn't a standalone incident. There was another car involved in that.
Incident in Lacoum. We think it might be Lachlan. Yellow flag.
Back. Or has he been able to get back to pit lane, or is he still there requesting a tow? Yeah. He's stranded. Safety car number 4, gentlemen. This could well be.
That's the second of the One Performance Racing Mustangs. Both of them cold tyre drama.
Shepherd on the first lap. Yeaman went with him in sympathy. Not a coming together. Instead, a bit like the incident we saw of Brenton Hobson earlier in the piece.
Okay, Metsumo. The next car is Ozan, car number 91, and their rating is 2.3.
Sorry.
Yeaman got helped. He did get a help, but it was all the checkup trying to get around and provide the space. So, yeah, that's...
Safety car.
It's got a fucking stop beside it.
Was there anything more that, was it reasonable? No, well, that's lifting off on a straight, really. So, which, yeah, that's issues. 606 is going to be requesting a tow, so we're waiting on the next call for a safety car.
And therefore, I'm in the safety car. Our good mate Dan Hall is earning his keep tonight. There's no doubt about that. He's 15 laps down on the leader, so he's only done 7 laps, but he's been out.
There's an incident in
safety car on track.
It looks like it's Paul.
Fourth, and what does this mean with regards to do you zig, do you zag, do you go to pit lane, do you not? The cat and
To be fair, Mez, the more safety cars there are, the more spots we're making.
Straight. Yes, there we go. First evidence of that. The
P16
dives to pit lane. Safety car back out on the circuit.
I really don't like this call. So this is the cars that stayed out under that most recent safety car, because if you're not pitting from that far up the field, the problem for these guys is that they're only going to have maybe an 8-lap fuel off-cut. There's
an incident in Radion. It looks like Jeffrey, Stewart and Woods.
So it's really
There's a big mess in Kemmel.
7 to 8 lap differential between the pit stop timers. The critical timer, though, for these guys, look where we've just ticked over on the timing chart at the moment.
The gap to Ozan ahead is now
0.9. Who's our car up a couple?
The reason those guys are diving to pit
lane,
we've hit a fuel window.
Yeah, nice, Dylan.
Now, everyone that pit under the most recent safety car might not make that fuel window. The guys that pit right now, definitely in that fuel window. The guys that pit under a future safety car, definitely in that window. So this will be to get home on a one-stop strategy.
Incident in Lacoum. It looks like White, Morrill and Bird.
There's not enough of an offset, there's not enough of an advantage. They would lose out relative to the entire field for a gain of nothing. That's why they're staying out here.
Timing screen says 23 laps completed, Scotty, so I'm just confirming that we are on the 24th lap at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, man.
I just want to confirm that.
The track temperature is increasing. It's now 33 Celsius.
And it is Sam Blacklock, Reese Wakefield, the Eclipse Sim Sport entry of Damon Woods.
If it goes green, it should almost get me to fucking
thank you, Jay.
an hour mark anyway.
I think that was the case. So... Oh boy, Orbit drop bear
Only problem is you getting your 75% if it keeps being like this. Oh, whatever the percentage is.
There's an incident in. Who on? We think it might be Ozan.
Now, the hard
Oh, yeah.
charger at this
Oh, yeah,
rate
true.
on our screen there, Reese Wakefield.
The gap to Johnson behind is increasing. It's now 0.8.
Also, of course, we should acknowledge the
There's an
driver
incident
that
in.
last round.
Befania. It looks like it's Wakefield.
And it's going to be very interesting to see who wins the Driver of the Day vote this time round, because it's purely nominated. It's going to be a case of surviving.
Mate, it's been a night for 9-5.
we're
Holy
gonna
shit.
get to
Ups
the
and
race, but
downs.
You've got to also craft your way there. So what are the critical windows that we're starting to look at and starting to talk about? Well, for me, critical window to get home.
I'm also
56
sick,
minutes
man,
to
so
go.
that's,
You
I
get
reckon,
there,
worth
you're definitely going to
2/10
get
a
home.
lap.
If you're thinking about it a little bit of a risk and you're thinking about maybe chugging a little bit less juice, that tends to happen in my case because I've got to pay my own fuel bill. I try to burn as little juice
Tricky
as
Rick on a
possible.
tear.
I'm looking about the hour marker. I'm confident that I can get there. I can do the fuel saving to get home, particularly should we see some more safety cars. For the guys that are in the middle, risk. When can you make an advantage? The guys that I'm looking at, remember, we've had
Incident in.
2 cars
Paul Ferrari. Looks like it's
strategy that they were
Ozan.
on whereby they stayed out under the most recent safety car. The problem for those guys,
There's an
they go to
incident
the
in
back
Blanchimont.
when they
It looks
pit
like
here,
Bird
they've only
and
gained
Briggs.
a couple laps in terms of fuel mileage. This is really, really relevant right here. When we look at Sam Blacklock, he leads the way at the moment because he pit all the way back on lap 10. P2 also hit all the way back on lap 10. That's the 994 car. So we're missing them in the mix of this picture. So there's a lot of strategy games going on right now, but there's actually a couple cars that
You'll have to, like,
have a
keep
look
your
at
wits about you,
Sebastian
mate.
Vandal. His pit stop on lap 7,
really?
drive-through penalty.
There's an
Pit stop on
incident
lap
in.
10,
Where are they?
Stop.
was
We think it might
actively
be
a pit
Woods,
stop. He's
Stewart,
pit twice.
and
Have a look at
White.
the other car that's in this mix that's already pit twice. Dylan O'Shea. There was damage on that car. That's a Ferrari. We have seen a lot of issues for the Ferraris so far tonight in terms of trying to keep them moving forwards. We've already seen both the Summit Sim Sports Ferraris done for the day. So there's a lot to take in this. Strategies, right, there's a lot of different strategy games going on right now. And
Yeah, good
realistically, if you're back in the field,
P15.
you've got a lot that you can gain. So what you're trying to do, basically, if you're up
Incident
the
in
front,
La
you want to stay up
Source.
front.
We think it might
If you're
be
at the back,
Albert.
let's play some games. Let's do some things, which is
Six
what's
oh six,
happening in the
you
case
can
of
say,
Dylan
please.
O'Shea.
Gotta
He's
try
been
something.
twice in the middle of those packs there because he was at the back and things weren't going their way and they had a bit of damage to repair off that car, so they've made some gains from that.
We're rumming and ahhing earlier in the night. We're wondering whether it was going to be a tame or possession.
There's an incident in
sort
Eau
of
Rouge.
race,
It looks
you know,
like
what
Woods.
guys were doing with
The gap to
Super
Ozan
Cup
in front is now 1.1 seconds. It's a big pile up in Radion.
Right, feed races open.
Influence that. But
Yeah, green flag racing again, is that?
we've had no shortage of content to work with. So well done to all and sundry. Hard luck to those that have bitten the dust so far.
Incident in Camel. It looks like it's Chapman.
In the post-mortems here in this round of the championship. Scotty, I don't know if I did a good enough job of articulating it earlier, but again, we're having that discussion, aren't we, about what game you want to play, what strategy you want to run, but it's more with regards to what I'm trying to paint the picture of here is how much traffic you want.
There's an incident in Lecoumbe. We think it might be Woods, Stewart, and White.
How far is too far in terms of trying to make a play for it?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a picture. The big thing we're sort of starting to see now, though, is the bulk of the cars are starting to coalesce back on sort of the same strategy. There's still some stragglers. So still got 2 cars up the pointy end. Interesting to note in terms of this queue at the moment, have a look at that Mercedes that sits 3rd in the queue. Now, if you have a look at the timing tower, you won't actually see them. And the reason for that is they're off the lead lap. It's the 525 car of Ben Jeffrey that sits just ahead of Damon Woods right now. They're here in search for their lap, and they're 3rd place in the queue. Go on, give it to them. Just give it to them because they're right there and in amongst that lead lap fight. They were hoping, they were ahead of all the cars that had pit under the most recent safety car period.
And working these
behind the
hard
cars that
and
stayed out.
it's
So what they
just
were hoping
fucking
was
keeps
that all the
going
cars ahead
down.
of them were going to pit.
I've just got them up
And
above
then
60.
they would get effectively their lap back. So they've had damage, they've had drama, and they clawed their way back on the lead lap. That's not happened. They're going to be asked to get out of the way here and blue flag. So that's going to be tricky to manage. And the problem is Woods.
I think it's great.
There's an incident in Befania. Looks like it's Sam
Overlapping
Wakefield
until that extra last one, and no passing until start finish.
There's an
Safety car.
incident in Looks like Rick.
Whoa, sounds like he's
I'll let you know when he's in pit lane
68 minutes gone, ladies and gentlemen. 68 minutes
Let's get
played.
run over by
Last
a
time
truck or
around was a
something.
4:02.515 on the lap sheets, and the best pace we've seen so far has been in the low 2:16s, to give you an indication as to how much time we lose behind the safety car, and that's important for a number of different reasons. As the safety car makes its way back to pit lane once more, restart number 4 coming
There's an
up.
incident in Courport Ferrari. It looks like Bird.
How far we're going to run. This race will probably cover less track distance, race distance, than the first 2 rounds.
Incident in Longchamp. It looks like it's white.
On the racetrack, and that has permutations.
Incident in bus stop. We think it might be Hall.
These guys are playing as Scott has
Lucian.
been with regards to how many laps you've got to get out of your fuel tank, how much time you've got to get out of your fuel tank, and how much fuel you can save. And we're not too sure how much you're able to save per lap compared to a full flat-out qualifying run per se on the fuel tank, how much you're saving behind the safety car. You can see here how Dan Blacklock has control of the field, bringing them back at a moderate tempo. That's in the name of doing a little bit more fuel saving as well, leaking a little bit more time off the clock, and maybe it's the difference between...
Oh no!
Pick a number out of thin air at the moment. I'm not sure how far this thing's going to run. But
Come on, head up. Keep your focus further down the track. B14.
7 kilometres could make all the difference. Let's try again, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we'll have a good, solid, flat-out green flag run here for a change of pace tonight. Back to green we go.
Okay, Metsumo, keep either under pressure. He'll make a mistake.
Invitational series. Blacklock, Wakefield, Woods to the first turn.
Yeah,
Hold your breath, Scotty. Cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross everything.
they're going to cut their way through. I've also just noted Dan Yeaman's gotten himself back out of the pit lane, stayed on the lead lap. He's 31st at the moment. There's only about 47 seconds ahead of our race leaders, so that's enough time for him to play with. Hope for a little bit more safety car intervention, potentially get himself back into this one, which will be huge for that outfit if they can stay on the lead lap and get something go their way. This is the 666 machine who's going to get a little bit racy at the moment. Sorry, it's 666, my apologies. Meant the 9INE5IVE machine inside the top 10, so they have got a huge amount of speed at the moment. And Alexander Bird, not going to give it to him.
Not yet, at least. Forces him wide on the inside at the end of the back straight. Bo Albert around the outside of Sebastian Vandel as well.
Right side.
For Evolution Racing.
Still there.
Luke Swan back up to
Clear
14.
right.
Jeez, he's been up and down like a yo-yo all throughout the
Nice
course
pass.
of the evening. Remembering that car started from pit lane, if I did my homework correctly.
The car in front is Chapman, car number 101, and their rating is 4.3.
Machine as well. They're back up to 24th. Andre Heimgartner behind the wheel, and they're actually in behind the 22 machine. Emily Jones has jumped behind the wheel of that one at the moment, sharing with Brady Myers. They're back in the mid-20s at the moment, so some work to do for those guys. But I said, that 525 car, you might see them drop off. They're not. They're actually hanging in.
They are holding their own at the moment. It's impressive to see. Replay here. This was the move that Zach White put on Job Stewart. An impressive move heading up to Puyong, and it moves the pole sitter back to 4th.
Oh
So a
no.
little bit of diving, and that's cold tyres. Got to get aggressive with the cold tyres as well. The other thing about the 525 car right now, they're light on fuel. They've actually done a 22-lap stint, so they are very, very light on fuel. They've hung it. Once they had their data...
Oh,
no! No!
Kuznetsov. Is he going to be able to drive that thing away?
B12.
Yes. Thank goodness. So we
cracking.
failed to get through a lap cleanly, but... And Sebastian Vandel's now crashed as well. Oh dear. So 2 victims again on the first green flag lap after a restart. Are you kidding me? So we'll have a look at what happened to Vandel in a moment. That was almost a very, very nasty rejoin. And Vandel has done exactly what the Summit Simsport boys did, but got away with a little bit less damage for his efforts. And he'll be able to move his way to, well, I would assume pit lane. He might be able to push on with it for a little bit, though. We'll wait and see. In the meantime, Orbit Drop Bear continue to lead. It's Sam Blacklock leading the way. The Antic Motorsport entry, Reese Wakefield, What a great charge from them in second.
All right, Metsumo, ignore that fucker in the mirror. Stick to your line. Nail those exits. He's quicker than you into Lecombe.
And got Bo Albert down there in 10th as well, having a great run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different manufacturers in the top 10.
Come on, find the gap.
Throw it was up.
15-minute mark of proceedings here. Damon Wood, Zach Ratway, White, Job Stewart, all in close tow. Geez, we've got some big guns in the cockpit at the moment, Scotty. Some of the big time players, both here and in the V8 series that the ASRG, of course, operate right there front and centre when the whips are cracking.
Yeah, I don't think I just have a sneaking suspicion we mightn't be done with safety cars yet. Don't tell me this is the 88 car back out there and turning laps again. Oh boy!
Centimetre perfect, as an AFL commentator once said. Speaking of the AFL, 2 games on there tonight, 1 in the NRL as well. If we get another safety car, we might go around the grounds just to keep you up to date.
There's an incident in La Source. We think it might be Serena.
At the moment, with Teo Serrano and Byron Phillips on there. Now, just having a look at some of the other incidents that have unfolded. Let's have a look at Reece Wakefield, actually third at the moment. Damon Woods has gone through to second. That's what's gone on there. The Aretti Esports entry is about to be gobbled up.
Definitely feels a little bit
He's about to get by Alexander Bird.
more wishy-washy in the rear.
The bus stop. And Bird now back down the inside, not wanting to have a bar of it. Can he get the job done? Get the elbows out, force his way through? No. They'll go side by side on the line. Run down to Eau Rouge? No. Bird backs out of it.
So he's just going to slot it in, do what he can. Marino Morello in the Mustang. And a few extra ponies.
Okay, Metsumo,
Under the
this
hood of the
bastard's holding
Mustang.
you up. You've got to find a way past.
Doing a great job at the moment, though. I think the biggest thing is just how many manufacturers. This is uncommon to see this many manufacturers this high up. They're fuel saving in that Mustang. They are massively fuel saving. You see that?
Big clutch. No doubt about that. Now, just trying to get my bearings right here as well, boys, with regards to the cars on pit lane. Obviously, we know that Stewie Ellis is done for the night. He was the one that had to request the tow. Of those guys that were just involved in the incident, it was the 41 Vermilion Esports entry, wasn't it, that we saw back on pit road. So Teo Serrano's now back behind the wheel of that car, having taken over. So they're back out there. They were on pit lane for about 1:55 last time through. Robert Crisdale there down battling for 25th with Blake Urquhart, who's also back on the track now as well. Dan Yeaman back in 29th position, benefiting from that skirmish for the 41 Vermilion Esports entry as well.
Man, I'll tell you what. I look at the timing sheets at the moment, and there's an hour and 15 minutes that's been involved in this race. And I go, are you sure? Because it feels like we've been here for 5 hours already with the amount that's going on.
Well, yeah, I'm right there with you. We're doing our own 24 at the moment, aren't we? We're cramming 24 hours worth of entertainment into 4.5 on the broadcast for you, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you're enjoying it as much as we're enjoying bringing it to you. Down to the bus stop once more, back to the main straight. So we're on lap 28 now for Sam Blacklock, who leads from Damon Woods and Zach Ratway White. So again, the Orbit Drop Bear Jupiter entry now with clear air, but Damon Woods breathing down his neck. So these are the two different strategies at play, going toe to toe for the outright race lead for now. Damon Woods having got to the 9th lap of his stint. Blacklock on the 17th lap of his
The gap ahead is now 0.9.
Going over 4th on the racetrack. That's the battle we've picked up down the back straight. They'll weave from right to left. Stewart to the outside, and Wakefield's going to let him go.
Yep, smart. He's playing a game at the moment in terms of their fuel mileage, fuel consumption. Just trying to keep themselves in the window. And the other thing to consider for that car as well is they're massively up and massively out of sequence in terms of their fuel strategy. This is a really interesting one to note. I've dug back through. I can't see a penalty for car 228. So that was, remember that huge moment at Blanchimont touching the curb on the inside? I think it's been called no further action.
No further action was taken. Yeah, extraordinary, really, to be fair with you.
I'm
but then again,
yeah.
at the same time, I can understand it being a racing incident because it was a ripple strip that, kind of set off the chain reaction that wasn't intentional. It was the impact of the momentum of bouncing off the ripple strip. I get that it's wrecked the 77's night. It's wrecked theirs as well. But yeah, no further action. It is a little surprising. But then again, I mean, race control are dealing with so much at the moment. I'm sure they're happy to sweep a couple under the carpet.
Well,
just to get themselves out of here before 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, Scott, instead of 6 o'clock tomorrow night.
But the big key for me is you touch the curb on the inside, you turned in, you touch that curb, therefore you're the car at fault in that incident. If you jump a curb, you shoot across the track, which is, for me, that's what happened. I don't know what the viewing on that was.
We really need to be in front of this car.
Hey, look, I disagree. At the end of the day, I'm going to leave the stewards to it because that's there. But yeah, I've just scratching my head a little bit on that one. But Perwine's recovering back through the field. Andre Heimgartner's, they've got a clean race car again. It's a big gate with the amount of safety car intervention that we've had. So yeah, it's not ruined their night. The night's not over, but I really
Woods,
don't see
car number
without
5
touching that
is
curb,
now
how
leading.
that contact would have been instigated, and that's the point I'm sort of trying to make. This is actually a battle for the overall lead.
Damon Woods in the slipstream of Sammy Blacklock. I'm coming back to that point, Scott. I want to elaborate on that. I want to keep pursuing it down the inside. Blacklock lets him go. Woods is going to lead this one from the front. And Blacklock will tuck in and follow and try and save some fuel out of the slipstream benefit. So Woods to the lead. Eclipse resuming familiar territory for them. They've been prominent at the pointy end of town right throughout the course of this series. We pick up the battle between the team's Max Boost entry around the outside of Matty Johnson. That was Oisin Colangelo, and Josh Perwin's in there as well.
I think that's actually Josh Perwine actually redressing. So there was contact between Perwine and Colangelo into the Lacombe chicane at the end of the Camel.
Copy.
And it was Perwine that went in a little bit deep. So I think that was actually a redress. He recognised, you'll get an opportunity to see it here. There was no overlap at the turn-in point, and that's point will be redress, carry on with it.
I just wanted on the record as well that we got some intel before we got on air tonight as well, Scott. I'm not sure if you were here at this particular point or whether
There's an incident in Blanchimont. It looks like Serena.
Playing steward tonight, as he put it, is my co-commentator from the opening round of the series, your good mate Brenton O'Brien.
Playing steward. Yeah, he loves playing with all the toys, doesn't he?
But of course, he's an integral part of everything we do here at the Australian Sim Racing Group. So well done.
Gap to Chapman ahead is now 0.7.
This one together. You have to feel though for other members of the organisation committee, Sean McNamara, and also, hang on, is that a car parked? Yes, it is. Can you believe that? Teo Serrano. It's the main point of the circuit. It's the other side of the road. That one will be a tow job. This will be safety car number 5. Bang.
He's staying in.
Cool.
Copy.
And
So-
they were all going around at that point.
If it wasn't bad enough when Vandell found the concrete on the left side of the track, Serrano's finished the job. And now the game changes again. We're only on lap 30. And we're at the 1
It's just
hour
starting to
38
get a
minute
rhythm
mark
too.
to go. So we've only been racing for an hour.
Take a
21 and a half,
car,
81 and a half
take a car.
minutes. We're not yet at halfway. And this is a sprint race interrupted.
That's just telling me that a lot of these people are running
This is just
probably silly
a
wings.
series of
There's been so many high speed
that we're
wobbles.
watching play out here. We haven't had a decent, elongated green flag run yet.
The gap to Chapman ahead is now 0.9.
Intensity, the
Weird.
velocity of that snap.
It's just weird, isn't it? Because the cars, you can see the slides start to happen and then it just grips immediately. Like it's just a violent bite too. Safety car's been deployed, so we will get that one here.
Can't say I'm surprised by that one, Scotty.
No, yeah, I mean that's on consistency as well. Gee whiz. Well, I mean, I'm starting to sit down, watch, and take notes, and for me as a social driver, I guess realistically, if I had the money, I'd be one of those so-called gentleman drivers. I'm not in the right industry.
They can't
I'm
track.
really called a dentist, but I'm taking notes this by 24-hour next weekend. And the first thing I'm looking at is just go, let's have a car.
Same car 5 is the lady that takes on its way down to
What hope have I got?
So you are having a steer next weekend, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just stupid enough to do so. Yep.
race drive.
Sectors 2 and 3 are 1.2 seconds off the pace. You're 2/10 off the pace to sector 1.
He was 19 laps into his
Race drive.
Wakefield
Wakefield
follows.
follows him in.
2 cars left on that strategy.
Okay.
And again, they're further into the range.
So I'm in front of the
For those guys,
Yes,
they've
mate.
gone
Damn,
far.
I'm after the base show.
Have to wait on the driver swap.
Yeah, you can pass down, mate. Thank you.
There's no invoice. It'll be the amount of time they're fueling up will be the amount of time that it takes to switch over the drivers.
Yeah.
There we go. So those driver
It's a big
changes
pile at the
are
minute. Let
complete.
go.
Daniel Wood, Zach Ratway, White sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboard at the moment. And then Job Stewart as well.
Remember how we were just saying that there was an Eclipse car at the head of the field that was about to go a lap down? That was that car being released. So
There we go. Right, that makes a lot more sense. I was
Look at
gonna
the
say,
penalties.
These boys are more experienced than to know that, aren't they? So, yeah. That would be Byron Phillips
seeing-
making his way around.
I'm seeing penalties on the board for Daniel Boswell.
That like
No,
6 safety cars now? 7?
Copy.
P11 is closing in. The gap is now 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, I think it'll be about 6 or 7.
I went scrolling through the server to see what I could find, and I wasn't
Bo's
actually able
repping
to
the
find
Audi.
it in the session. It's actually
It's good to
an
see.
issued penalty, 10-second time penalty. Tell you what, we're nearly on the halfway mark.
Yeah, Roger. Dozing off.
So,
You know what?
95 minutes to go, 85 minutes played, gentlemen. It's extraordinary what's happened, what's unfolded so far. And,
There's an incident in Befania. Looks like it's Stewart.
But at the moment, irrespective of the strategy play that's going on, Scotty Rankin, the Eclipse Simsport boys still find a way to be at the top of the summit.
But they haven't looked flappable all night long. They've had a really, really nice car, right amount of point in it, not too much point. They haven't looked unsteady. We've only seen one of their cars have a mistake on cold tyres. They're feeling comfortable, they're feeling confident. Zach Ratchrow White, remember, has jumped into the 17 car. They've ticked off enough laps now for the injured Jamie Christensen. He did a phenomenal... For a guy that's recovering from... The notes that I saw was a couple potential broken fingers, potential cracked ribs,
Incident in Club Paul Ferrari. It looks like Chapman. The gap to P9 ahead is now 0.9.
By qualifying the 17 car on pole position. He did the bulk of that first stint inside the top couple cars.
Yep.
And then he's
There's an incident in Longchamp. We think it might be
thing for him
Albert.
walking into tonight would have been, your job is just survived. There would have been no pressure put on him. It's just tick the laps off, right? That's it. There would have been no number put on him. He personally would have been sitting in the sim going, well, you put the damn thing on pole. Could you have picked another night to do that?
There's an incident in
However,
bus stop.
let's
Looks like it's
also
White.
reiterate here and highlight that there's no way in hell.
There's an incident in La Source. It looks like
Phillips. Right there, right now, the benefits of this being a SimWorld event, and we hope that, you know, Jamie makes a swift, nice, clean, smooth recovery. There's no doubt about that. But
To be honest, unless Sam makes a mistake, I'm not really going to push him too hard. He was pretty quick.
Pressure, had the pain been too much for him to bear with, to support Zach
Is that
Ratway
top
White.
10,
Joe
Mez?
Stewart third, Alex Bird
Woohoo!
fourth. I mean, there's so many surprising elements to this race, Scott, but of those that have been able to survive the challenge here, who's impressed you most so far?
Incident in Eau Rouge. You think it might be
Yeah,
Stewart?
now it's probably Job Stewart, Alex Bird, Marino Morella.
There's a big mess in Radion.
in very quick cars. I'm very happy watching Dean Mackay go after his work as well. This is a guy, in terms of ratings in the sessions as well, you have a look at all the guys who's up
There's an
around,
incident
the
in
lowest
Camel.
rating
Looks
inside
like
the,
it's white.
is 5.9k. So he's done phenomenal with where that car's placed at the moment. So that says to him that he's really switched on and enjoying things, and he's actually been a big purveyor of that McLaren in every series I've seen him in prior to the update. So he's right there and amongst it in a great spot. The Luke Swan
There's an incident in Lacoum. It looks like white.
They're in a really, really good spot at the moment. They're mid-stint here as well.
Ozan is closing you down. The gap has come down to 0.7.
A couple of cars now that are back in amongst it can give themselves an opportunity to get deeper into the race. So the Dan Yeaman Lockhart Brownlee cars back into the pit lane for more repairs. So that car should be in a lot better place now as well. So there's actually been a fair bit going on in this one.
Basically, you're working so hard just to maintain low 60s.
I think it's a fair thing to say. Thank goodness it didn't rain. Could you imagine how much more of a spanner in the works that would be when we really don't need one? It's probably a good thing that rain turned around and went in the other.
Oh, yeah. 62 basically.
I mean, such is the run that he's getting tonight. He's had more laps tonight than he'll have all year. Has our good mate Dan Hall from Logitech. Does a great job, of course.
Yeah, 64, 62. Now I can't do anything. I'll tell you where they get down to.
Most of which had to stay home in Ipswich.
Fast forward a bit, Mez, maybe.
It just was not portable to Grenfell. I'm on the backup set tonight, courtesy of my radio colleagues at West Brummer. And,
sorry.
Of course, on the back end of that, we should also mention that there's also Brenton Hobson.
I thought, because I thought you were behind a bit because I'd stopped weaving.
Adam Jepson's still a lap down. Everybody
Copy.
the lead lap. The longer this
There's an incident in Stavlo. Looks like it's
so temps were 60.
There's a big pile up in
63 when I stopped. I'll tell you what they are
at this point in time. As we finally tick past halfway. There's that magic number come and gone, ladies and gentlemen. 9 minutes down.
There's an incident in Blanchimont. We think it might be Albert.
So if we keep going at this rate,
incident in bus stop. It looks like Paul.
Not going to happen. But if we do manage to get an elongated green flag run, maybe we bump that.
Basically, temps went down to 60. That's about it.
768. Time will tell. What is interesting, Scott, is who dives to the pit lane and when, and if they only do it once.
Yeah, I think from here we can absolutely get home on one more stop. That's confirmed. It's just how long that stop's going to be. And critically, I'm just sort of taking a look down the rear end of the field. There's actually not a lot of cars that came to the pit lane of that most recent caution. Emily Jones, I think, is might be the highest running. No, Harrison Lillis, who is, remember, our race leader in the 862 car. So they look at them weaving. Oh, there's a car around before we even get out of the bus stop.
Wow. So that was Matt Howard in 26th position, now plummeting down the order. He'll be down below Rick Kuznetsov, Brody Simpson's most likely as well. So Howard, that's a costly invoice for him for Iridium City Sport. Now we make our way through Eau Rouge and rally on once more. Can we get through cleanly unscathed, scot-free? Let's wait and see. Alex Bird up to 4th place. Marino Morella 5th. Dean Mackay 6th. Adam Briggs 7th. Bo Albert 8th. Names that we haven't mentioned at the pointy end of the field for a little while throughout the course of the Gamesman Gtpro Invitational Series. Damon Wood, Zach Ratway, White, Job Stewart. We've talked about them all season long. They're right there when the whips are cracking. They will be in 90 minutes' time if they can keep it clean. But Bird, Morella, Mackay stand there on
You're reeling Chapman in. The gap's now 0.42.
Of the incident for, of course, the entry down outside the top 25 now, Matt Howard, and we go back to the Evolution Racing team entry. So actually important to note in all of that, we mentioned earlier in the piece, didn't we, as Perwin and Colin Gilo resume their dual 11th and 12th on the racetrack, and joining them for good measure is Matthew Johnson in 13th. Daniel Boswell's not too far back in 14th either. When we talk about the 7, Joe Stewart's got Ethan Grigalt with him for company tonight, I'm reliably informed. Brenton O'Brien, of course, the ERT team manager, as well as the head honcho of everything we do here at the ASRG. He said there's a 2-time XL national champion on the grid tonight, Zach, and I know how much you love your XL racing. He does too. Yes, Ethan Grigalt is out there, which is great to see. The second of the ERT entries, we talked to Lachlan Cable before the race.
Sectors 1 and 2 are 0.8 off the pace. You're 2/10 off the pace in Sector 3.
Where they've got...
Okay, Metsumo, lap times are pretty consistent.
Of course, behind the wheel. So they're having a solid run, and they needed to after the misfortunes of Fuji and trouble at the end of the Camel Straight.
The 525 is actually off the lead lap, so that car's, actually not racing those cars for position. So
the gap behind is now 0.6.
Might do something about it, might not. Just in the case that whereby I have a fair idea that there should be something done about blue flags. That's the trickiest part about being in that spot, that 525 car. But remember, they were 2 cars ahead of them,
by the way,
pitting away from being back on the lead lap too, so they were so close to that.
Now that seems like a distant memory. Have a look at the flamethrower down the back straight. We're riding on board with the 17 of Zach Ratway White to the end of the back straight, to the end of the Camel Straight. Matt Johnson's got by Colin Gilo for 12 as well down the Camel. Woods the leader, controlling it nicely. From the Clips 1-2, they did this in Japan. Stewart there in third, leading the fight, leading the charge for those looking to knock Eclipse off the top step of the summit. But we've got the 2 teams that have netted 2 overall wins so far, dominating the podium, locking it out at the moment. Vendaval in 4th through Alex Burt. Areti through Marino Morello in 5th. TriStar 6th. Synergy 7th. Great to see the sister car of Brenton Hobson's team, the 14, having a good run despite the early demise of the team captain. And they will be filthy about that one for a while, I'm sure. Harrison Lillis has got up to 20th as well, getting by Greg Patrick in the full send Sim Sport entry. So Lillis back into 20th. Again, we're keeping an eye on that with regards to that was the entry that pitted from the lead of the car race during that previous caution period. There have been 5 of them. They've been racing 95 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. And
come on, Metsumo, don't let him get away.
Of this stint without incident. So we're about to complete lap 34. So we've clocked somewhere in the vicinity of 238 kilometres, Scott. So a long way to go.
Yep, still a very, very long way to go, and we're still waiting for that extended green flag run that we've been hoping for at any stage of this event. Andre Heimgartner, don't forget that 77 car. He's sharing with Madison Down. They're back to 15th spot as well. And we thought they might be done for the days, but no, they've been
car in front of us is Irvine, car number 228, and their rating is 6.8. The gap to P10 ahead is increasing. It's now 1.4. You'll need to slow down to give back the time gained.
If anything, that'll be an early nomination for driver of the day. To get that thing back from where it was in the kitty litter, crunched up to a top 10 finish. It's a great recovery already, but the icing goes on the recovery cake if they can get it into the top 10. And there's still plenty of potential for that to come their way with 83 minutes to play. You're watching SimSpeed's coverage of the Australian Racing Group, the Australian Sim Racing Groups rather, coverage of the Gamesman Gtpro Invitational Series Round 3, Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. And it's great to have you along for the
Don't let this guy intimidate you. They're faster than us into La Source.
The second half of the year, the first Friday night of July, the second month of winter. Thankfully, it's nice and warm inside the control tower here at the Grenfell Kart Club, where I'm broadcasting to you from this evening, but it's very bitter and crisp and chilly outside. Not looking forward to the walk to the car, or least of all the drive back to the accommodation once this thing's done just after midnight Eastern. but hope you can stay with us for that. And if you happen to be heading out this way, you're in our central west, southwest New South Wales area, and you happen to be in the vicinity and want to come out and say good day this weekend, do yourself a favour. It'll be a great weekend of racing out here in Grenfell. Round 4 of the Kart Scars for Karting New South Wales. Round we go. Damien Woods controlling it nicely from the pole sitter. That pace was rapid in qualifying.
On your right, clear right.
OG Gear replay coming your way here with the
Okay, Matsumo. The next car is Chapman, car number 101, and their rating is 4.3.
Overtake, but heart in mouth sort of moment for Harrison Lillis, diving down on the inside at Puyol and got the job done.
Fuck
Did
me.
it cleanly, Scott.
Yeah, but did you see that lack of visibility from where that
Come on,
rear
man.
wing
If
is
somebody
placed?
fucks up in front, we
Guess
need to
what?
be able to take a
The
photo.
rear
Car
mirror
right.
picks up just about
Go ahead, go ahead.
Swan gets
Hold your line.
rotated.
You're on the left, 3 wide.
It's the bus stop chicane.
On your right,
There's a
clear
host of
right.
cars that are just about
Car
filled in
ahead
here,
is
so we
Jones,
could
car number
rejoin.
22,
We're
and their
here.
rating
It
is
might have been just a
6.5.
touch of contact to kick that one off.
Just if race control, a run out of things to adjudicate on or observe or, you know, double over. They've now got more paperwork on their desk. So they're very much occupied.
Right side.
There's no doubt about that.
Clear right.
Greg Patrick there in 22nd at the moment. So already you can see that gap forming between those in the top 20 and those outside. This field is starting to slowly spread out. We might show you a track map shortly just to show you how they have spread out around the racetrack since the restart. Here's Byron Phillips trying to work his way back into the top 20 on the inside of Greg Patrick. He goes up into 21st.
It's been hit twice. It's kind of annoying.
And Luke Swan goes through the 22nd, I should say, and Greg Patrick the 23rd. So that's
Both
very
times
nicely
it
done
was,
from the 69
Yeah,
as he tries to get back into the top 20. Next target.
The next
1.5
car is
seconds
Phillips,
on
car
the
Ten more
road.
laps, let's go.
69, and their rating is
You can see that big
7.1.
gap between Puyong, really?
Yep.
Between the first and second crops of this field.
The gap to Phillips ahead is increasing. It's now 1.0.
We're only on pit lane at the moment. Hold your breath, 2 by 2 through Puyong.
Well, yeah, out the other side and still trying to hang on to it. Just keeping half an eye on Byron Phillips, who's climbed back on board the number 69 car. Remember when he was up in the top 5, and unfortunately for that car, a few moments, but the same sort of story as the 77. Lachlan Cowie's had a disastrous race for that car, but I think he's ticked off enough laps that they might just not put him back in the car, and now Phillips is going to try and climb back through. Sam Chapman just gained a spot over Bo Albert, I saw as well.
Yep, so he's gone up in the 9th, Scott, but Joe Stewart's been relegated. Alex Bird's gone to 3rd. Rendeval entry has gone to 3rd on the inside of Joe Stewart. So Bird to the potential podium position. It's a long way to go, but it's the best place he's been all night. Got the job done on the run to the bus stop.
Yeah, and he'll just get helped here. Yeah, Stewart's just recognised. He's on the inside, and the big thing for these guys will be they want to maintain the draft of the cars ahead. So sure, we could fight this one, but if we do, we're now fighting for 3rd. We're not fighting for 2nd and 1st. And you'll actually see, yeah, a little bit of drafting help as well, bump drafting as well, pushing down the straight, trying to reconnect with those cars ahead.
Indeed. And that's the thing as well. Byron Phillips, 15-second penalty. Wow, for contact with the 525. So Byron Phillips, we were only talking about him a few moments ago, trying to get his way back into the top 20. That's not going to help.
The gap to Crystal behind is now 1.5.
Who's 31st at the moment, Adam Jepson. And that 15 seconds will not be the greatest welcomed anchor invoice on the back of what's been a challenging night for those guys. They were looking good in the early stages, but it's gone south very quickly. This is the incident that we were talking about. Sorry, no, my apologies. That's Bo Albert conceding, if nothing else, on the Vermilion entry. And Scott did correctly pick that one up. That was Sam Chapman going on by into 9th. The 101 Vermilion Esports entry. Now, he's a man possessed when it comes to a fuel save race, is Sam Chapman. So watch him and the whips are cracking at the back end of proceedings here. Lockhart, Brownlee and Greg Patrick!
Ooh.
Contact! They get away with it. Brownlee lives to fight another day. Oh, it doesn't matter where you look in this field at the moment, Scott. The elbows are out.
On your right, clear right.
Turn up the afterburners point in the race too. And that was Brownlee starting to come his way back through the field. And he's going to sort of get on with that a little bit because he's
Okay, Metsumo, the next car is Hausler, car number 197, and their rating is 4.2. Your lap time was at 2:18.37.
Yeah. You just
It's funny though, Scott, isn't it? When you look at the amount of elbows out driving we're seeing, like that, door to door, through the bus stop, hold your breath, back to the main straight. Blake Urquhart trying to capitalise here, move up to 28. Oh no, 3-1 down the main straight. Let's go! Why not? Last of the late breakers to La Source. And down the inside, Urquhart will try and get the up and under. No, had to move across to cover off the car in behind. Matthew Johnson gets a
The gap to 23rd place behind is now 1.4 seconds.
There for company at the moment. Does the 29th place number 35 entry as they make their way up the Camel Straight once more. Extraordinary entertainment here. And again, we reiterate, we've got 76.5 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. Drag race down the Camel Straight, which brings me back to the point, Scott. There's been a lot of argy-bargy tonight, but also a fair bit of gentlemanly etiquette as well, in the way of, in the name of gamesmanship, the guys that have been happily conceding position in the name of the fuel save.
Yeah, this is the incident. We're just saying the 467 car has been issued a 15-second penalty. Remember how we had a car up and over the curbs? That'll be why.
That will be why indeed. All happening here at the Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium.
What, sorry?
Oh, Lord, look at the number of cars that have just been tagged up.
Are they 15 seconds up the road?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I'd rather be 15 seconds up there.
I'm just having a look through the analytics of this, boys, and the penalties and everything else that's going on. It's extraordinary. I don't think we've seen a run sheet quite like this season, and I don't think we will see a run sheet quite like this for the rest of the season either. Quite extraordinary what's unfolding here in round 3 of the championship. The gloves were bound to come off eventually, and what a way to do it at Spa to launch what is the second half of the calendar year and what is the race that gets us to halfway. You mentioned Emily Jones earlier, Scotty Rankin. There she is. She's got Byron Phillips for company, but she doesn't need to worry too much about him because he's got a 15-second invoice coming as well.
Yeah. So, but, you know, it'll be follow Phillips through the field, I think. Let him go. He's definitely got the speed. He's been tracking her down. But you won't want to make this too difficult for him. Use him as a draft. Pull your way through, and that's the thinking that tends to go on up at the pointy end of these sorts of things is, am I going to be able to hold this guy off? Yes, but we're still over an hour from the finish, and I'm not going to be able to hold him off for an hour. So what you'll see here is Emmy will just roll off. Yep, there it is, nice and easily done. I do want to fight it, but maybe in the last 20 minutes, maybe in the
Crystal
last
behind is now 0.9.
It's just too early to hold off a car with that much of a pace advantage. When you're a little bit deeper in the field, we've seen that the Blake Urquhart battle pack, the 35 machine, that group of cars, they're all together on pace. So fighting it for them is very important. That's the 77 machine with Andre Holmgartner having a little bit of an issue. A little end of that McLaren.
Hold your breath. Side by side to Puyong. They're okay for the moment. Spotter will be in the ears. Yep. A little bit of caution taken there to avoid potential contact through the second part of Puyong. So very nicely done. That was, of course, the 77 of Andre Heimgartner. And we've got a replay here thanks to OG Gear as well. And a little bit of a tank slapper you're going to see. Just have a look at the super slow-mo at work. Well done, Jay Kennedy. Look at that for a little bit of drift work and traction. What a save as well. There have been some moments tonight where that you haven't been able to save it. Once it started to go, you haven't been able to save it. A few drivers have ridden their luck.
I'm just thinking and looking at that and going, is that the suspension in the rear end? Is that because they were running maybe softer anti-roll bars and all the other cars that we've seen snap are much, much stiffer? So that when they do grab, they grab quite quickly. Whereas there's a little bit of sag, a little bit of roll in this car. It's a little bit more comfortable with that. Would be one of the things that I'm thinking about.
Time was invested in fine-tuning and manipulating those setups that you mentioned, Scott. You can tell that it's been the 1%ers that have been the difference tonight. And there's still 72 minutes to play here, ladies and gentlemen. And Eclipse are 1-2. They're drifting clear of Alex Bird, the Vendeval entry. They're 2.6 seconds up the road from him. He's got his hands full with the ERT entry, of course, in fourth place. That's Job Stewart.
All right, Metsumo, don't be intimidated by this little shit. Make him work for it.
And then you go back to Dean Mackay, who has clear air around him at the moment. No real pressure. Perwin has Briggs within vicinity. Chapman and Albert are having a good scrap. And then Johnson, Colin Gilo are somewhat spread out, and Heimgartner finds himself in 13th at the moment. Byron Phillips up into 18th, but when you take that 15 seconds into account, it's 25th. It's net 25th on the racetrack. However, there are other penalties also to be applied that may impact that as well. I apologise, Scott. I've had a complete, total roadblock mind blank. I was thinking of something to segue into the conversation.
Fastest lap for Woods, 2:16.12.
Dialogue for the moment. So as soon as I think of that, I'll come back to you. Let's ride on board with Marino Barola for the moment and have a listen to that thing. Hard at work, 79 to the right-hander to the bus stop. This has been a terrific performance from these guys so far. They're right there within a real crack, with a real shot at getting onto the podium with a couple of, I's are dotted and T's across, and a couple of little 1%ers fall their way. Zach Ratway White, fastest lap of the race, 2:16.076 right on cue.
Yeah, so that sort of says what they're trying to do. They're not hanging around at the front of the race. They're trying to press on and disappear down the road.
What was that, mate?
So the critical thing is,
feels slow though somehow. I don't know what's wrong.
So far for the 56 car, so they're going to have to do a driver swap at their next pit stop. They won't have any other opportunities.
It's starting to feel understeery. I think maybe tyres, but I shouldn't be.
I've already seen a drive-through penalty for the 5.5.
Temps are high 80s. It's not overcooking, but
I think I've just seen another.
Could just be me. Come on, down low.
Greg Patrick was behind the wheel of that
22nd
one.
place.
There's actually nothing issued in the sim by any administrative bodies. But remember, Spa is one of those tracks whereby it's always been challenging to manage your incident point counts. You get 30 for the 3 hours, so you effectively get 10 an hour without a penalty. Well, sorry, you get 2.9 an hour without a penalty. You're allowed 29, you're not allowed the 30th point. So, that it's awkward that that's coming before we've even encountered the last hour.
Making it a safety car, though.
Absolutely it is. But again, it's a hallmark of the kind of race it's been.
Don't let this guy distract you.
That evasive action that's been taken, those incidents that have unfolded. So probably not necessarily a surprise to see some penalties, but hopefully they're not going to spend the next 70 minutes burning another 30 and getting another drive through. That would really just add insult to injury.
So remember that battle pack I was telling you was with the Pacific Sim Sports car? This is it, Blake Hurkart's behind the wheel at the moment.
That's a new fastest lap for White, 2:15.87.
So 90% of the way done, just can't pull the car up. Ferrari's a little bit better balanced on the way through the comb chicane at the end of the cable.
And that's a hard thing as well, isn't it? We're just getting confirmation through the 952 9.5 Sim Sport entry has retired from the race as well, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Benefield has parked up and is done for the night. That'll leave us with 32 cars in the motor race, and Brenton Hobson will eventually, when he unlaps himself on Benefield, move up into 32nd position as a result. Unfortunately, there were some drivers tonight kissing
Who's that, Brody?
contention, their aspirations, their hopes good buy. Benefield's a good little peddler. He's had no luck the 3 rounds so far. The games from Gtpro Invitational Series. Matt Howard and Wade Burkhart, that battle continues on Crisco, which one is the battle we're watching at the moment. 22nd, Crisco 23rd. Still 67 minutes to play. We're getting ever so closer to being in that window, Scott.
Yeah.
That's vitally important final pit stop for the London one.
Very close to that at the moment. Remember that you can all, everyone on the field can actually carry on beyond that marker now. So just because of the time in the safety cars, so it's guaranteed one stop. But how early on that window do you come? Now, if you're anything a little bit outside, you haven't been able to take them, you're probably going to come very, very early in terms of the window. I'm looking probably about 56 minutes to go. Remember, that's probably my marker for being able to get home with comfort.
On your left.
So probably with about 15
Clear
minutes
left,
to
left
go.
side,
If
clear
you're
left.
ailing on tyres, you're starting to struggle a little bit in terms of pace. You're looking to come about that marker. So
I don't know why I tried that. I know
keep an eye on
it
that
felt
just a
obvious,
little
but
bit.
didn't have enough pace on to do it. And it was just going to compromise him so much.
2 for you, ladies and gentlemen. P1 and 2 both on the screen, on track, and on board in the bottom right-hand side of your screen as well. Damon Woods versus Zach Ratway Wright, and a picture of concentration if ever you've seen one, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at them. Eyes forward.
The gap to 21st. Ahead is now 0.8.
They're building that buffer between themselves and Alexander Bird at the moment. It stands at 3.3 as they come back to the main straight, complete lap 42.
Well, one of the big things, I'm actually just watching his eyes, see a little bit of a blink there, but you can see how much he's focusing. One of the big things is when you look at professional racing drivers, they don't blink all that often because the adrenaline basically, they're just so wired on it.
The gap to Crystal behind is now 0.6.
It's one of the few things.
Good consistency. Keep it coming. You've just done a 218.30.
The eyes go wider and you don't blink all that often as well. So just watch the difference between both of those guys and how often they blink. It's to do with where they're positioned.
How much do I have? But yeah, I can't save that.
You've got your eyes that far through the corner. You're thinking about things. You're really switched on. You won't blink. It's just a natural response of the human body. When you're in the zone, when you're really fired up, when you're moving, you need your vision at all times, and the body just doesn't blink all that much. And that was the big thing I noticed about Rattray White, is he comes through Blanchard up there. Whereas if you have a look at Damon Woods, Rattray White's energetic. Left, right, look at something, twiddle with a knob on the steering wheel. Damon Woods is just cool, calm. I have a feeling at some points he's about to fall asleep, just watching him. It's that calm and in control of the race car.
I was going to say, there are points where if this was a tamer sort of motor race, we could have easily called up and done the same thing, Scott. But there has not been a chance to switch off or take the eyes off the screen throughout the course of this evening so far. Lap 43 is what we're on at the moment, folks. Trying to gauge exactly how many laps are left in the car race is getting challenging because we just don't know when that next safety car is coming, if it's coming. But I guarantee you this, Scotty, I would not be surprised if...
Okay, Matsumo, you're reeling Hausler in. The gap is now 0.7.
Everyone would hit 100%. There'd be no reason not to.
Absolutely, so everybody.
I think we're just in a holding pattern. We're just waiting for that at the moment. When do you go? What do you do? That 862 drop bear car that's just ahead of these guys, ahead of this little battle pack. It's showing Colangelo. But Angel, I'm going to read that one wrong 10 times. Every single time I come across it, I'm just like, wait, I've got to say it in a specific manner. Colangelo. For the viewers watching along at home. And think about her, very, very young go-karter that got into sim racing.
Yeah.
Now have a look at her. She's been picked up by Evolution Racing Team. So like I said, this Max Boost, they taught her a lot last year. Daniel McCrowan put a fair bit of work into her alongside Kane Ryder and his brother as well. Put a lot of work into her. Vaughan and Kane Ryder, that's the two. Yeah. So they've put a lot of work into it. It's all happened for, I guarantee that they're the kind of group of guys that they've been looking around her. And you've got the opportunity to absolutely go for it. You know, on to bigger and bigger, better things.
Don't be
And
pressured.
have a look at
Keep
the
your
gap
exit
behind
speeds
her.
up.
You know, think about what's going through her mind and her life at the moment, and gaps in the growth that she's going through. And she's got a supercars driver sitting in a rearview mirror. How's that for a vote of confidence for a young driver?
Pinching herself, I would think, Scott.
Yeah.
We'd be living the dream. So many people would envy where she is right now in that position. There's Heimgarten having a look right on cue on the inside. Not able to get it done. But again, still a great recovery from those guys as well. Back to 14th. Andre playing a big role in that. And maybe we'll see Madison bring it home. Who knows? An hour and 2 minutes remain, folks, and I think I'm right in saying longest green flag run of the night.
What have you done?
Far.
What have you done? You didn't just say no.
Sorry, did I say that out loud? Oh, sorry,
yeah.
I was only meant to think that. No, sorry. Actually, no, I deliberately said that. I absolutely said that on the record. There is a reason for it, because it's the truth, you know. No. Box.
Will Daniel try to bomb? If so, I should just defend so he doesn't block me.
On your left, clear left. On your left. Clear left.
Watch your speed limit in the pits. Activate limiter.
Brilliant stint, mate. Brilliant stint.
Box
Mate,
in.
that was
5,
interesting, wasn't it?
4, 3, 1. Box now.
A bit further up the field.
Alright, eject, Luke. Eject. Whoops. Whoops.
Get out.
2
Oh.
litres remaining.
Deary me. Well, thanks, Maz. Appreciate the support during the ups and downs of that stint. Pretty full on, actually. Like, just not actually having like a... You know, there was no minute pit stop. Just to sort of take a breather. It was just in and out. And then now that you got to warm the tyres, you can't just like coast behind the safety car. It's actually thinking.
Pit exit is clear. Your tyres are cold, watch out. Right, the guy ahead of us is Baker, car number 14, and their rating is 5.0.
It's gnarly, eh? Yeah, it's been fun. It was a fun stint, mate. It had me on my toes.
There's an incident in La Source. It looks like Kappa. next car is Andrew, car number 397, and their rating is 5.3. You're reeling, B26. The gap is now 19 seconds. Opens on lap 47 and it should close on lap 68.
You reckon? Oh no. There's an incident in La Source. Looks like it's Hausler. The car in front of us is now Howard, car number 826. Woods is pitting. The Olias, car number 862, is now in the lead. Okay, Metsumo, you're reeling. Howard in. The gap is 7.9 seconds. There's an incident in La Source. We think it might be Arnold. We just cut the track. B26. Oops, I realised I was talking with my mic up. But yes, much more realistic. So much more fun. Wait till you get some traffic.
call the slow car.
Just trying to see if there was an incident or something.
There's an incident in start line. Looks like it's error. The gap to Steve behind is now 10 seconds.
Oh, where is he?
Yeah, you got that.
Skilling. Like free spot though, we'll take it.
Safety cars on your night except for when we need
B25, sector 2 is 1.1 seconds off the pace. Okay, Metsumo, that's good consistency, keep it up. The gap to Howard ahead is increasing, it's now 8.5.
We back, man. Just gonna go grab an ice cream.
Pit window open. Incident in La Source. It looks like Crystal. The gap to Howard in front is now 8.6. The gap in front is now 8.8 seconds. The track temperature is decreasing. It's now 31 Celsius. The gap's now 8.9 seconds. Howard ahead is increasing. It's now.
Anything interesting, mate?
B25.
Yeah, it doesn't. I honestly felt like when we set it up, it felt good. But no, I think maybe good.
The audience,
compared to
862 is leading the race.
Track temps lower. Higher humidity, maybe. I feel it's a little bit more pushy. A little more pushy, and rear's a bit more unstable. meters and shit either, mate. Yeah, I only managed a 17.46 on low fuel.
The gap to Howard in front is now 9.6. Is now 9.6 seconds. Lap times are pretty consistent.
The out toe.
Yeah, with the
The gap behind is now 10.0. There's an incident in Stablo. We think it might be Jefferson. Alright, Metsumo, you're reeling B24 in. The gap's now 9.8 seconds.
Oh, he's trying so hard to get to the thing, but he can't. He's about to call it in, I reckon. Stand by. No, he's beached. suppose either way they're gonna.
We need a pit stop anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, Metsumo, the next car is Ryder, car number 91, and their rating is 3.3.
Yeah, I think he's stuck now.
Second car, second car, second car. Second car, second car, second car.
Reeling Ryder, the gap is now 8.6.
He's blown his engine anyway.
There's an incident in Stablo, it looks like Jefferson.
What do you reckon you can save 8 litres under? Nah, it's massive. Probably not. Do you want me to do it? You do
The
it.
gap behind is now 10 seconds. That was a 218.04.
Well, you're coming in. Oh, copy. Ah, that's right.
Incident in La Source. You think it might be rainy?
Second car on track.
The leader, the Alias, is pitting. Okay, Metsumo, you're reeling Ryder in. The gap is 5.4. Cody, car number 5, is now in the lead.
Oh, Deeth's just spun.
Looks like it's Jefferson.
Yeah, Deeth just spun on first corner, which allowed Ilias to come out in front.
Look out for the pit speed limit. Box in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now. Left front 89%, rear left 93. Brady behind is pitting.
Hello, Brady.
Your exit's clear. Don't cross the white line. Your tyre temps are good. The car in front of us is Steve, car number 268, and their rating is 3.1.
Massive difference though, like the percentages to front to rear.
There's a big pile up in Befania. You're reeling B24 in. The gap is 15 seconds. There's an incident in La Source. We think it might be rainy. There's a big mess in Corporal Ferrari.
Adam, the 555,
There's an incident in Stablo. It looks like Jefferson. There's a big pile up in Blanchimont. There's a big mess in bus stop. There's an incident in La Source. Looks like it's the Olias. B24. There's an incident in Eau Rouge. You think it might be Cody and White. Okay, Metsumo, the next and their rating is 3.3. Incident in Camel. It looks like it's the Olias and Bird.
About a 2 kilometre difference, man. It's not too much.
Incident in La Source. It looks like Steve.
No, have fun warming up the tyres.
There's an incident in Le Coupe. It looks like it's the Olias and White.
Yeah.
The gap to B23 ahead is now 2.0. There's an incident in Huon. It looks like Cody.
You give the lady want to go to the race start, please maintain the safe start below to the exit line, and then the race start the race. Reminder that there's no overlapping until the exit to the last one, and no passing until the start finish line. Safe start on the
There's
left.
an incident in Befania. We think it might be White. Incident in Huon. It looks like Arnold. Steve is getting closer. The gap's now 0.7. incident in Corporal Ferrari. Looks like it's Phillips.
Yeah, this gaming's all over it.
There's a big pile up in bus stop. There's an incident in Longchamont. We think it might be Brady and Steve.
Leader's gone. Drop, head up. Gomez.
Left side. Hold your line. Clear left.
Nice, mate.
Well done, Metsumo. Good pass. Nice front. The next car is Howard, car number 826. The track temperature is decreasing. It's now 28 Celsius. Incident in Befania. It looks like it's Clayton. You're reeling. Howard in. The gap is now 1.0. He's pretty slow through La Source. There's an incident in bus stop. It looks like Bird. Yellow flag. Caution. The driver in front of us is Councillor, car number 197. B22.
Here we go indeed. Mez, if you went on the outside then, that would have been the most heroic thing I've ever seen, I reckon.
Far left. Hold your line. Hold your line.
There's an incident in Lincoln. We think it might be Arnold.
Clear left.
Yellow flag. Watch out.
Car right. Clear right.
The car ahead is Bird. And their rating is 5.9.
Right, hopefully might get a few more people pitting, but they would have pitted before, I suppose.
Don't let this guy distract you. They're quicker than you entering. They find you. We've just got to
They know track. Car 35 on lap 58, turn 5 for race control. Copy.
That's normal, Cody.
E19. There's an incident here. Radion, we think it might be Cody.
19th.
There's a big pile-up in Kennel.
Yeah, it's been nuts, eh? So many bloody safety cars.
Yeah, I know. We've got to be up to 10, at least 10 safety cars.
Okay, Metsumo, come on, stay focused. Apexes and exits, apexes and exits. That's 20 minutes to go. 20
I mean,
minutes.
3 hours of racing, 61 laps doesn't feel like many.
There's a big pile-up in Lake Hoop.
It's annoying, eh?
Yellow flag. Incident in Bruxelles. Looks like it's Crystal.
Camera in a weird position so I can see the tyre tips.
There's a big mess in Huon.
We'll put these high field here together, guys, so I might send you this lap and get a roll racing at the end. So we'll bring drag race at the end of the lap. Cody, you'll be the race, please maintain a safe car seat to what's the pit lane.
Yeah, it looks
Might
like
well lacking into the exact last corner, past the start line. Such a wake this.
Should just keep waving so everyone else was.
there's an incident here. Stavlo, it looks like Crystal. There's an incident in Blanchimont. It looks like it's Capel. The gap ahead is now 0.6. There's an incident in I think it might be Hall. Cody, car number 5, is now leading.
Yeah, crazy, eh?
Okay, Metsumo, we just
Thank
cut
you,
the
mate.
track. Need to slow down and give back some time. Stay close, seems we can unsettle him. Keep your concentration, make the bastards work for it. They're quicker than us entering La Source. Left. Zumo, you need to pass this strat, you're losing too much time.
Car left. Hold your line, clear left.
You cut the track, keep it nice and tight.
Left side. Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Clear left.
Oh, really?
Ignore that fucker in the mirror. Stick to your line back on those exits.
You can get him back.
Car right. Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear right.
Don't panic, we'll get him back.
You can get him back, man.
Okay, Metsumo, the next car is Howard, car number 826. minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
Has a bit.
Don't panic, you've got time to sort this out. 20th place. That lap was at 2:18.33. Okay, Metsumo, lap times are pretty consistent. Use all the track, force him to find the gap. You're quicker than you entering Brook South. You've got half your fuel left.
Try to dial it up though before you hit the entry pawn.
Keep it within the track limits.
Yep.
Fastest lap for Pierce, 2:15.83.
If Brody gets a good exit here, try to pull out so he can take your draft. Might be too far back on this one though.
Okay, Metsumo, don't let this guy distract you.
Right side, clear right.
Evan, fuck ya. Take him out, Brody.
Track limits.
What? You just fucking taking him out.
Brook South. It looks like Steve.
Oh my.
On your left, clear left.
Oh my. Let's go back to this.
Do we have a target on our back or something? Everyone's had a crack at us tonight.
The next car is Steve, car number 268, and their rating is 3.1.
Left side, clear left.
Metzumo. 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left.
What time was that?
What about our incident?
That. Yeah, I've put it in Discord. I'll get back to it. Yeah, I'm pretty confident Brody did that on purpose.
Car left. Clear left.
Don't be intimidated by this little shit. Make him work for it. He's faster than you in 2. Works out. Cody, car number 5, is now in the lead. Please, Metzumo. You'll need to give back the time gained. That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
Nice.
Is Brady, car number 951, B license, and their rating is 3.1. Fastest lap for White, 2:15.60. Brady ahead is pitting. P20, white flag, one more lap. Alright, Metzumo, the next car is Crystal, car number 297, and their rating is 3.5. in, turn 9. We think it might be Johnson. Fastest lap for PS 2:15.51. The guy in front is Johnson, car number 467, and their rating is 3.2. P20. Okay,
Well,
it's over. Good drive.
20th. Jesus.
That was bullshit. The whole fucking lot of it. That was fucking pathetic.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah. 3 times. 3 times we got fucking wiped out. Once we were
Do you
in
wanna-
spot 2.
Do you want me to drag you up?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do it.
That's alright, I'll go. Yeah, it's alright.